the attractions. She says they've set strict guidelines. Roberts expressed confidence in Butler Amusements and points out that they're known for their reliability. She says that it is crazy the amount of engineering that goes into these rides. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. Bada bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing, for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Wednesday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Chris Burdick producing on the 17th day of September. Got a busy show for a Wednesday. Coming up after the break, Jerome Powell has finally moved interest rates. So we'll bring in our money man on a Wednesday. Daniel Petrie will join us at 3:15 right after our first break. He'll tell us about a softening labor market and what this means for potential homeowners and credit, et cetera, et cetera. It is a Wednesday, so Howard Marcus will be here at 4 o'clock via the Rogers Brandon Global Telephone Network. And I got a ton of miscellaneous news and notes. I think, and you're not going to agree with me, you're not going to like me today, but Kash Patel is just an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment to be heading the FBI. And there, I believe we've got some audio. I sent you, got what I sent to him going at it with Adam Schiff, and I pray, well, I don't care. You can think I'm a fan of Adam Schiff's if you want, but the tete-a-tete he had with the United States Senator is an absolute embarrassment to be the leader of the FBI. When you're calling a United States Senator a buffoon, you can say that in a private room. You can say that in the Oval Office, but you can't say that to an international audience where Vladimir Putin and Xi and all of our opponents can hear that. The leader of the FBI calling one of the 100 senators that serve this country a buffoon. It's just beneath the position. And Kash Patel, the man who said, we got him. We got Charlie Kirk's killer. What? Huh? Scratch that. We don't have him. We don't have him. Some old man that somebody pointed out, my bad. You see Jan Groover doing that, really? Making that kind of ridiculous basic. You wouldn't see Donnie Youngblood or Greg Terry making such an idiotic mistake. We've got the killer. Oh, wait, no, we don't. You guys are really going to defend this guy? Wait till you hear the audio from this absolute moron. And that ties in to the testimony of former CDC director Susan I don't know how to pronounce her name. Monarez, Monarez, Monarez. She went at it over the firing by Robert Kennedy, another member of this cabinet that I think is totally and completely unqualified. And remember, at the outset, I was rooting for these guys because I believe that the President of the United States should have the ability to appoint his grandmother if he wants. And then you see how they perform. And in 8 months, I'm sorry, I'm coming up with an F for Pam Bondi. And if you think I'm the only conservative saying that, you're not engaged, because the crying out is getting louder and louder for Bondi to get the hell out of there. I was rooting for Hegseth. Maybe we go in a different direction. Maybe we don't get a general. Maybe we don't get somebody who served for decades and decades. And maybe we do get a Fox and Friends weekend host to head the Pentagon. Maybe. Or maybe we get Kash Patel, who's never served in the FBI. Or maybe you get Robert Kennedy, who doesn't believe in vaccinations, to head our health department. We gave them 8 months, and they have been an absolute failure. And if you truly are a Trump supporter, you should be with me on this because they're killing your guy. They're killing him. They're inept. They're incompetent. We'll get to it later. And I got a great story that I'm stealing from the Today Show today.
Which is?
Orcas are going after sailboats.
Oh, defending their territory?
They don't think so.
Really?
It's happening in a specific area of the country, of the world, I should say. It's happening between Portugal and Spain, where it's their feeding ground. They come down from the Atlantic and they're chasing after bluefin tuna. And they say that it started in 2020, believe it or not. And how many ships do you think they've sunk since 2020? And do you know what a group of orcas are? I didn't know this till this morning.
Oh, I've heard this before because I've gone to SeaWorld multiple times, but I can't remember what it is.
They are a pod.
Ah, right.
A pod. Another thing that I found out, well, I'll tell you when we get there. There's a lot of information about orcas. I am fascinated. I've always said if I had to come back, I'd come back a killer whale.
Oh, yeah.
They are the predator of the sea. Nobody.
You don't
They're
mess with an orca.
they're the only ones that can kill a killer great white. They eat the liver. They what's the word? They debilitate them, and then they surgically. That's why I come back, because not only are they the badass predators, they're brilliant. They surgically take out the liver and eat the liver of the killer, the great white, because they're such huge animals. The livers are huge, and that's their delicacy. Nobody messes with them. But how many do you think have been sunk just in the last 5 years?
Ooh, 5 years is a good amount of time. 250 ships.
Hundreds, yes, hundreds. Can you believe that?
That is pretty impressive.
That is crazy. And normally the people get out safely. They call in. They were being attacked by a pod of orcas. And the Today Show had some video of the most recent attack where there were 5 people on board, and you can see these people panicked. And they're brilliant animals. You ever seen an orca? Well, we'll get to it in a second. But you ever seen an orca hunt seals?
Mm-hmm.
And how they do it in a pod, in a group, and then they start flipping them around, and they like tenderize them, and I'd love to be a killer whale.
It's like dolphins. Dolphins will play with you underwater before.
That's another thing I found out. You're killing my segment. Did you know that they are part of the dolphin family?
Yes, I did know this.
I did not know that.
See, this is why you got to go to SeaWorld in San Diego. Go check
I've
out
been there.
The orca encounter thing that they do.
Chris, I was just there 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally. We'll get into that. I found it fascinating. I'm sorry. We'll get into that at some point. And then I got a weird thing I got to do. I got to correct Bob Price. Now, this is not because Bob and I have been civil to one another as in our older years, but as I've chronicled on the show, we had a tete-a-tete maybe 10 years ago where I said something about him on the show, and it got back to him, and it clearly wasn't what I said. And JR was giving me a ride home, and I said, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm off. It's after 6 o'clock. And he got mad, and he sat down that very night and wrote a hit piece on me in his column. True story. You can go look it up. I can't lie. You can go look it up. Bob Price, Ralph Bailey. You can go look it up. Read what he wrote about me. Calling JR a straight shooter. Barely even knew JR. But yet he just tore me apart. But anyway, so I'm not doing this out of spite or anything, but he did a really nice piece. And I've always said he's a great reporter. I've always said that. I've always maintained he's a great storyteller. And he's even working out on television, despite the fact he won't comb his hair or wear a tie or wear a shirt that's not wrinkled. But he did a piece on cancer, on prostate cancer. And to make a long story short, and we'll get into it in the 5, he took the test. The PSA, the hook of the story is the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center. And this is really the reason I'm raising this, along with trying to correct Mr. Price, is that they're providing free exams, folks, men. So please get down there, head down Truxton and take advantage of this, where they're going to test your blood and give you your PSA number for absolutely free. There's no excuse. You've got till the end of the month. There's absolutely no excuse. And the only correction I would have on Bob's piece was he took the test, he registered a 2.7. And the end of the piece was, well, I'm not going anywhere. Well, as we learned through Jeet Singh and another listener who was an expert on prostate cancer, you can be below what is considered normal, which is 4.0, which is where I am. And this is why it caught my attention. And you could still possibly have cancer and still have to go to your physician. What it depends on is how your number jumps. I went to the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center a few years ago and did the test for free and did it to promote what they were doing that month. And I was about a 1.5. I had a blood test about a month ago, and in this amount of time, maybe 3 years, it jumped to a 3.7. Well, that's below the 4.0 normality and way below where it's really concerning 9 or 10. But as Hemal Kathri has told me, as Jeet Singh told us all, I still may have cancer. And that's why Hemal Kathri put me on antibiotics, hoping that it is an infection that caused me to jump from a 1.2 to a 3.7. And I'm meeting with him again in 2 weeks after I take another blood test. And if it's not a infection at 3.7, I have to take a biopsy. The point is, you can be at a 2.5, Bob, and still have prostate cancer, or you should at least still go see a physician. I'm just saying, that's just the facts. And the audio of G telling us that has expired, unfortunately. We couldn't get that audio, but believe me, I'm living it. I'm at 3.7. I'm below 4.0, and I am scared to death about my next examination. Say a little prayer for a brother. Quick time out. Our good friend Daniel Petrie is going to come in and tell us, what does it mean that Jerome Powell has finally dropped Fed rates? We'll do that next. And then Howard Marcus at 4 o'clock. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a hump day right here. Oh, I neglected what I was supposed to do in the first segment. The Great Kern County Fair is officially underway. I got to do this before we go to the break. All right, hang on a second. Don't go anywhere. Chris, hang on. Keep the music rolling. I'll get to it. Just hold on. All right. Ashanti leads off talent-wise, and you're going to see the Marshall Tucker Band. You're going to see the Isley Brothers, CeCe Winans, and Bando El Mexicano ends it up on the 28th. And the fair hours, Monday through Thursday, 4 to 11. On Friday the 19th, 10:30 to 11. Friday the 26th, Friday the 26th, 3 to 11. And on Saturdays, noon to 11, Sundays, noon to 10. $15 admission. And for people 62 and above, it only cost me $10. And five and under are free, military are free, and parking is $10. Quick time out. We're off to 21st and Oak. We're bringing in our money man, Daniel Petrie. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Thursday's Armstrong and Getty show, the Fed is dropping interest rates, and we will see how that affects the markets. Trump is in England and going to make a nuclear deal, by the way, with Great Britain that has something to do with Ukraine. We'll have all the latest news about everything on the next Armstrong and Getty show. I hope you can tune in, and our goal is to bring you stuff that is true without the spin.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Got battery issues? Choose the #1 name in power, A1 Battery. We've got you covered with top quality batteries for every need. Cars, scooters, motorhomes, garage door openers, key fobs, golf carts, home alarm systems, wheelchairs, and so much more. If it takes a battery, A1 Battery has it. With multiple locations to serve you. Enjoy free diagnostics on batteries, starters, alternators, and electrical systems. Plus, get free installation with any purchase. First Friday of each month is free Key Fob Battery Friday. Family owned and operated since 1960. A1 Battery has been providing reliable, friendly service to Kern County. Need us in a pinch? We offer emergency services to make sure you're never stranded. Tell us you heard it on the radio and get 10% off your purchase. Call A1 Battery today, 589-1433 for the location nearest you, or visit online at a1batterycompany.com. A1 Battery, powering your your world, one battery at a time.
How
It's
safe
Coach.
is your retirement? War is everywhere, debt continues to skyrocket, and the dollar is losing purchasing power. The value of the dollar is falling fast.
It's Coach.
That's why more and more people are converting their
Did he tell you
IRA
we're getting
or
Jared?
401k to a gold and silver IRA to protect their retirement.
Didn't say
In
a word to me.
2025, both gold and silver have risen an impressive
Yeah, he said he can
29%, and many
said
experts project
So
even
I was like, come
bigger
on, let's do it
gains
right now.
ahead.
And I was
Take
like, oh, wait, I
action
got
now.
Peachy right now.
Convert some of your
So it's like-
IRA or 401k
He's
to
got
a
a kid
gold
with
and
too.
silver IRA with
Oh,
Lear
sorry.
Capital. Call 800-957-GOLD for your free precious metals guide and IRA transfer kit. And with a qualified purchase, get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver deposited directly into your precious metals IRA. Lear Capital, the nation's leader in precious metals for 28 years. Call today at 800-957-GOLD. That's 800-957-GOLD. 800-957-4653.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their
Just one.
IRS problems. We have over
Yeah.
1,000
No, I turned it
five-star
off.
reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's a Wednesday, but we've got news coming out of D.C. Jerome Powell lowering Fed rates as predicted, and as predicted by our money man who joins us every Thursday at 4:30, Daniel Petrie. But we dragged him in here on this news-making day to give him his thoughts on what is really going on inside the Beltway. Mr. Petrie, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. Ralph, how are you guys doing?
I am good. I am good. Good to hear from you. Appreciate you taking the time.
Not a problem.
So, as expected, they dropped it 2.5%, quarter of the interest rate. And, well, simply, what does that mean?
Well, it is good. It helps people. It lowers the cost of borrowing for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, that kind of thing. Basically, it increased consumer spending, and we all know that this economy is built on consumerism. So it is stimulative, but there is also a downside as to what cost. Those people that have, savings or in interest rate vehicles don't get as much. There is potential for inflation. And, I think one reason they've been reticent to cut is because they haven't quite figured out, well, what will the final tariff, not only will the tariff rate be, but what will be the result of those tariffs,
Yeah. He did I was shocked. He did a question and answer after he read his speech, which was only covered by MSNBC. Again, as most of the listeners know, I watched the news mix. CNN didn't cover it. Fox didn't cover it. Only MSNBC covered it. Yeah, I thought that too. And there were a couple of things that he talked about. He talked about risk management cut, and he talked about a softening labor market. And that was one of the concerns why they jumped in. Kind of walk us through what he was talking about.
Yeah, the big one there, I think, is the soft labor market. He assumes that will continue to weaken, which hurts the economy, because if, like we said, we're consumer driven, and if people don't have jobs or are losing jobs, and they don't have money to spend because they're no longer, or they don't have as much because they're no longer working, they may get unemployment benefits or whatever else they may qualify for. But I mean, what do you do when you lose a job? Oh my gosh, I can't spend any money. I got to go hunt for a new one real quick.
Right.
So I'm assuming their data is telling them that we're going to have a I would think a significant slowdown, or they wouldn't be trying to lower interest rates, because I think he indicated that they expect to do 2 more, one each at the next 2 meetings.
Yeah.
And
Really?
the market, if you go out to March, the market's already got 3 more priced in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So
know. Go ahead.
So I'm a 35-year-old school teacher. My wife is a registered nurse. We're trying to buy a home because we want to have a child. What does this mean for new homeowners?
Well, if you're waiting
Or
to
would
buy,
be homeowners, yeah.
Yeah, I would say wait, because the odds are that you're going to get a lower interest rate when it is time if you wait. And you might be able to qualify for, if your payment's less, you might be able to qualify for the one you want or a better house.
Bigger house, yeah.
So if you want to borrow money, you want to wait. If you're sitting there trying to count your interest, then you'll be disappointed down the road.
Yeah. And what about folks trying to sell their home? Is it
interesting?
Is it a good time to unload the house now?
Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Do you wait until the buyer wants to do it?
Yeah.
The risk that's a hard one. Because then what if people aren't working and they don't qualify because they've lost jobs? The economy itself might cause you. Personally, I would think that if you can get what you want, I would probably sell. But I'm no housing expert, and much of housing is very regional. Even though the nation may be having certain economic trends, what happens in Bakersfield is not the same as Orlando versus Omaha,
Tennessee, and
very regional.
Georgia.
And there are many, many. I think you have a real estate expert you talk to. They would know much better than I on that.
Yeah. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Why does the stock market love this so? I mean, there was literally a jump right after he announced this.
Yeah. All over the place. The market on these types of events sometimes will buy the rumor, sell the news. So even though the market may take it as a bullish development, it might be down on the day because people anticipated the bullish development and decided to, I've made what I want to in a short-term trade, so I'll sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. The market in general loves it because it means cheaper money. Donald Trump as a contractor and builder loves it because he can make more money. Consumers might spend more if it's easier on their pocketbooks. It's market loves cheap money.
Yeah, no kidding.
But there are always consequences, aka that debt that we watch every Thursday, which I'm sure we'll do again tomorrow. Where is it, and when will that negatively affect, and why won't they ever? Well, they touch on it, but it's like I can't find a good analogy.
Yeah.
A dance where they're dancing far away because nobody ever deals with it.
Yeah, just kick the can down the road.
We've been kicking the can. And sometimes things take a long time to develop. I became a gold bull way back when they discussed the TARP program for the bank bailouts, way back in the housing crisis. And, and I was right, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons it took a long time is I think a lot of other people said, no, that's gold and silver's a relic. It doesn't matter. Well, if $10 back then buys you $6 worth of goods now, and a gold coin will buy you more than what it did then, I dare say it matters.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Always, your father was well aware of.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
That's always good to be on the side of Ralph Sr.
Thank you, sir. Always great to talk to you, and we'll wrap to you again tomorrow.
Sounds good, Ralph.
All right.
Good day.
Thanks for taking the time.
Bye-bye.
Daniel Petrie. We head into the back half of the hour. BCHS coach Darren Carr is here live in studio along with one of his players. We'll talk about his early season. And coming up at 4 o'clock, it's a Wednesday, so our former federal agent Howard Marcus joins us. You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. I would stick around if I you.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. At least 2 people, possibly police, were seriously injured in a shooting involving police in the southern part of Pennsylvania on Wednesday, and Governor Josh Shapiro was rushing to the scene. York Hospital says it was treating 2 people in serious condition related to a police incident in northern York County. The hospital said enhanced security protocols are in place. President Donald Trump is relishing a day filled with British royal pageantry with King Charles III. Wednesday's start to his 2-day state visit included military honor guards, carriage rides, and a state dinner. Trump also paid tribute at Queen Elizabeth II's tomb. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 260 points. The NASDAQ dropped 72. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A traffic stop near Rosamond Boulevard and Sierra Highway leads to a drug bust. Police say that Bridget Ray was found with $40,000 worth of drugs in the vehicle and at a home. Ray was already on probation for a previous narcotics charge. Deputies say that a search revealed methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. During a follow-up search at Ray's home, detectives report finding a backpack with over 1,300 oxycodone pills. A camera has captured video of a fire and what looks like an explosion in the area of Tubman this morning. It came from an alert wildfire camera, and it showed a large plume of black smoke in what
How do
could
you
have
guys
been
do
an
this?
explosion near Skyline
With the
Road,
camera,
close to
both
the
of them on
fifth
this side?
largest oil field in the area. I'm Bill
I
Robbins.
got to catch up with you, Coach, because I
KERN
thought you were
Newsroom.
doing
News every half
JR
hour when it breaks
exclusively.
on News Talk
And he said, well, he's going to do your
96.1
show, but he never
and
told me
AM
when. He didn't
1180
tell me today.
KERN.
Yeah. All right, so what's your record so far? You're undefeated so far. You know. And who'd you beat last week? Who?
Looking for flooring? It's on sale at America Ceramics. Looking for kitchen countertops? It's on sale at
And who you got this
America
week?
Ceramics. How about shower tile? Yep, that's on sale too at America Ceramics.
That's a big one.
At
So there
America
you go.
Ceramics, everything you need to
And
transform
who
your
you training
space
against,
is
son?
marked down for the summer.
Jacob
From sleek stone surfaces
Neon?
to bold backsplash tiles, they have it, and
And
it's
you
all
play-
on sale. Bring your big ideas to America Ceramics at 4000 Fruitville Avenue,
right,
or
caught
visit
up.
AmericaCeramics.com to get started.
Are you in
But
the shop
don't
yet? You're in
wait,
the shop. We're
styles
good
and
to go.
savings are going fast, and
So how's
this
it
summer
going?
sale won't
Good.
last
So far, so
forever.
good, I guess.
Ceramics
Undefeated.
at 4000
Yeah.
Fruitville Avenue, or visit
Are you really?
AmericaCeramics.com to get started.
They're badass. They are badass. They're destroying ships off the damn coast of Portugal. You see the video? Or you didn't see the video? I know. I am fascinated by them. Always have been. And they should not be in freaking captivity. You notice how the dorsal fin goes soft in captivity, and you never see that when they're out in the ocean? That can't. I mean, I don't know. And that they live to be 90? Did you know that? I was like, damn, it would be killer to be a killer whale. And nobody messes with them. Nobody.
You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me
All right, here we
weekday
go.
morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox.
Jacob
News
Neon.
Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN.
842-5376, 842-KERN. Coming up at the top of the hour. It's a Wednesday, so we're going to talk with Howard Marcus. And at the bottom of the hour, we were just talking about this with Coach. I'll tell you the story about the orcas that are destroying ships off the coast of Portugal. And then the 5, we'll talk a little bit about prostate cancer. Again, at the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center, you can get a PSA for absolutely free. So for men over 40, 45, dude, take advantage of this. Like I said, my PSA, that's still below normal, but the fact that it's jumped in the last That's the only way you can find out. And again, prostate cancer is one of the, I don't know how to say this because it sounds ridiculous, but it's one of the best cancers to get because if you catch it early, it's 95% survival rate. So go take advantage of this. It's absolutely free. It's right down Truxton. Makes no sense not to get this done. In the meantime, as most of you on YouTube can see, the head coach of Bakersfield Christian High School, Darren Carr, is with us, along with his star wide receiver and D-back, Jacob Mian. Fellas, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you again, Coach.
Thanks for having us, man. Yeah, appreciate
Nice hat.
Thanks, man.
Although I wish you would get in the bullpen for us.
Let me tell you something. You want to talk about the Dodgers or you want to talk about BCHS football?
No, I don't
I like
ever.
you both.
I don't ever want to talk about the Dodgers. I'm an absolute.
I'm mad at them right now.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Dave Roberts got to go, man. Every now and again, you need a new voice.
I'll never talk bad about a coach because I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Man, it's rough.
I mean, he's got like a pattern of pulling guys with no hitters.
I know.
I was in Vegas when he did it to Clayton Kershaw a couple of years ago.
I think I've seen 3 no-hitters in the last 2 weeks, and then we end up losing the
Yeah, 8 2/3.
Yeah,
8 2/3. And Yamamoto gives up 1 home run and he yanks him. Dude, give him at least 1 more batter to get 3 strikes.
He's your best pitcher.
Thank you.
Let him finish it.
Don't get me started. All right.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah, my
Sorry,
bad.
Jake.
My bad. So, yeah, Jake, sorry, Jake. But you better be a Dodger fan. That's all I know.
Oh, for sure.
All right, very good. We can continue with the conversation. 3-0, coming off a bye, and now you're taking on Stockdale.
We are.
Give us an assessment of the ball club.
Yeah. Again, we have nice long chats when we come over here, man. And I was asked today about one of our receivers asked me during lunch, like, Coach, who's one of your favorite teams you've coached? I'm like, well, you guys are definitely one of them. You guys did a great job last year. You guys are easy to coach. You come to work on time. You guys work. You guys enjoy it. You care, right? So it's fun to coach these guys. Where we're at, our record kind of speaks for how they've been working this offseason. And but yeah, I like where we're at. We're obviously not a finished product by far. We've only played 3 games, so but yeah, very excited for these guys to get back after it this week. I'm sure they're itching to get back to go play football a little bit. Yeah, we got a good hard rest of our schedule coming up.
Jacob, are you itching to get back? Do you like buys?
Not that much.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
It cools us off a little bit, but we're coming back pretty strong, getting our minds right. Preparing. We got Stockdale this week, and a few other weeks. Or next week, matter of fact, we do got a big team, so we got to get our mindset right, everything back to the rhythm like we always do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that, yeah.
You taking a look at Stockdale? You seen some footage there?
Of course,
you ready?
yeah.
You ready for those guys?
Like Coach Darren always tells us to respect our opponents, which, we respect every opponent. But I feel like we have a great, chance, to take up on them, beat them, and, do our stuff, be a team, play us together, bond, I think we'll do really great.
You got a big one coming up in 2 weeks
We
against
do.
Tulare Union.
Yeah.
How do you keep the focus on Stockdale? Because these kids are human and
Yeah.
they've got to be peaking at
Yeah.
Tulare Union.
I know.
How do you keep focused on Stockdale?
I'm very real with these guys, and I know we all kind of do it right, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do that when you have 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids on your team.
Yeah.
Hey, focus like I do when I'm 43, right? Focus. It's hard to get them to do that, but one thing I've seen about these guys, they're very mature for their age. They played a lot of football. They respect the game, like Jake said. We respect our opponent. So it really is the next man up thing. We have to get to this game to get to the next game, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of on them, right? Like I'm going to focus on Stockdale, so these guys got to focus on Stockdale, and we'll see what happens on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assess Stockdale for us. What have you seen?
Man, I'll say this. They got some talent. They got some athletes out there. Their quarterback, I don't know his name. Sorry, buddy. But he is quite the Lamar Jackson of Kern County. He can run around. He can throw it. He's got a strong arm. He's fun to watch on film, that's for sure. I think they have a little more structure this year than they did in the past years. So I know the coach. Coach is a good dude. He's going to have those guys ready. But he's the one guy that kind of jumps off the film when you look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob, you play D-back. You worried about this guy?
Just a little bit, man. When he scrambles, we got to be aware of our surroundings. You never know. Like, the receiver could be open, little spot. Just be prepared for him to roll out. It's just unexpected for a QB to do that.
Yeah.
But, just be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good player.
Talking with Darren Carr and one of the star players, Jacob Mian. Tell us, name drop a little bit. Talk about some of the other players.
Ooh, name drop. That's fun. David, no, I'm playing. Name drop. Let's see. Who's having a good year for us, Jake? Mike's having a good year.
Yeah,
Mike Smith.
Mike
Yeah,
Smith.
he was number 12 for us last year. This year too, obviously. But played receiver and defensive back. He had 2 pick sixes against Central Valley Christian 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Which was great. Never seen that before. That was a
Yeah.
first for me. Works his tail off. Andre Calderon, our offensive line. I tried to get Vinny Ramirez, if he's paying attention and listening. I tried to get him here. I tried to get a big fella in the chair. He said next time for sure.
All right,
I don't think he'll do it. He said, and I quote, "I'm scared."
Really?
Yeah, he's massive human, but he's scared of getting on the radio. I don't understand.
Oh, we got to get him over that.
Yeah, no, we're going to.
Jacob, you tell him it was easy. It was 10 minutes. Bailey's fun to be with. Get in there. Come on.
I mean, on the way I was a little nervous, but now I feel more confident, and it feels good to chat.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Talk about your team a little bit. What do you got? What are you, running team, passing team? Try to be balanced.
Yeah,
with defense.
We kind of went into the offseason a little bit trying to cater it around our quarterback, which is pretty smart to do.
Yeah.
Right? It really is one of those offenses where you can have high completions. We're not throwing a lot at them. We're not throwing a bunch of new plays and this stuff and all that. And we'll have a couple wrinkles here and there, but Lincoln's doing a really good job this year, our quarterback, getting the football out to whoever's open. I know it's a very, you can only do that sometimes when you have an unselfish football team like we have. You can't really do that when you have a lot of me guys. But we definitely have a lot of guys that are unselfish, and the ball goes to whoever's open, and we get it out. And Lincoln does a great job. I think his completion percentage is close to 70%. So
wow,
it's really good. Yeah, it's really been good for him. It's a good offense for him. But yeah, those guys, and we have a couple running backs. They're young guys, and they run hard. They don't know any better. They're 14 years old, and they just run their tails off, right? So yeah, just keep going, buddy. So yeah, those guys are playing really good football for us.
Yeah, and it's an exciting time for Central Valley High School football.
No, it's a
I mean, from Arvin to Lamont to Wasco, and what's going on out there in the North County.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really an exciting time to watch. And Garces seems to be coming back a little bit. I mean, it's an exciting time for high school football.
Sure. I mean, our league is no joke. Not looking ahead or anything, man, but BHS is going to be
BHS.
Independence came back. And,
Goala's got them rolling. You're right.
Yeah. Goala's a great coach, man. Like, he's going to have anybody ready. So we definitely don't take our eye off the ball. That's for sure.
That's really, really exciting.
Yeah.
I got to leave you with this. I'd be remiss if I did not ask you, how is your brother handling retirement?
I think he's enjoying it.
Is he?
The
shots that I've seen him playing golf and hanging out with Dave.
Yeah.
He seems like he's loving life.
He's loving life for sure. He's earned every bit of those that time off that he has, right? He's earned it, right? So playing golf, that's for sure. He built a little, I told him last time I was here, in the front yard, which is crazy. His wife let him do this. The front yard, he has a par 3, like maybe 75 yards, 65, something.
Really?
Something like that, like right in the front, right? But it's hidden. It's got a little hidden green on it, but he's in the front yard, chipping and putting and all that stuff. So he doesn't have it bad. So play quarterback for 12 years, and you can go do that.
You can do that, Jacob.
Yeah, but he's enjoying it. He's got a little podcast with the other guy that I know.
Yeah,
the older brother.
They
got their own little podcast.
It seems like it's going really well.
Looks like they're having fun together.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, good luck next week against Stockdale, and then I can't wait to talk to you as you get ready for Tulare Union as well. That's, I know, was a big game. And Jacob, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Tell your teammates, man, this is simple.
Yeah, conversation.
I'm gonna talk to him and be like, man, it's not that bad,
Vinny, you can do it.
You can do it, Vinny.
Come on, Vinny.
You can do it.
I want to meet you, son. Get in here. Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank
you, Jacob. Thank you. Take a quick time out. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. And top of the hour, our former federal agent Howard Marcus will join us. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Wednesday, opening day at the Great Kern County Fair. And we have a pair of tickets to give away, do we not? We'll do that at some point before 6. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live, kernradio.com. Sweet. Nice job. That was great, man. Nice job. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. That was great. That was really cool. Good luck this week. Tell your boy it was a can of worms, man.
The first look program, we got some idiots that are going to come in.
All right, thanks again, guys.
Football picks. We'll have the latest on what's going on at the Great Kern County Fair, this weird
All right.
algorithm thing, and all the latest in news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First look with Scott Cox.
At 17 years age.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180.
Different century, dude.
Attention,
Medicare beneficiaries here in Kern County. If you are eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times,
Nobody,
and
and I
proper
do mean
authorizations, it's
nobody,
time you
had
learn about
tattoos in the
Qualcare
70s and
IPA.
the 80s.
Qualcare
They were
IPA
looked down upon.
contracts with most
They were
Medicare
like
Advantage
things
health
that sailors
plans
got.
and provides
They
you
got
with access
anchors
to a large
or
network of
Love
outstanding
Mom or
doctors and
something.
quality
But in the
hospitals right here in
70s,
Kern
nobody,
County. Medicare Advantage health plans go
nobody.
beyond original Medicare benefits coverage,
Yeah,
and understanding these
turn of the
coverage
century.
privileges may be confusing. Call us today at
All right.
661-554-4544. Let us help you understand your healthcare options for 2025. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, call 661-554-4544, TTY 711.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
Don't worry, kiddo. We have stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, Lucky dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1 year, no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over, and you want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV for a price you can afford. Because at Philo, we're TV fans too. Head to philo.tv/Andrew to start a free trial and see for yourself. That's philo.tv/Andrew.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Wow. You will find. I got some killer breaking news. We first want to thank Coach Darren Carr and his player Jacob Mian. BCHS taking on Stockdale. Where's my trash can? Taking on Stockdale next weekend, and then the big one the following week against Tulare Union. But check this out. You will not believe this, y'all. But it is outstanding news as far as I'm concerned. Jimmy Kimmel's late night talk show is being suspended, ABC, over his viral comments about Charlie Kirk. A network.
He was going to get something for that.
You heard? I didn't hear what he said, but I'll read it in just a second. I didn't hear this. A network spokesperson said Wednesday that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be, quote, preempted indefinitely. The network's action came just after Nexstar, one of the biggest owners of local televisions in the country. In fact, they own a station here in town, I do believe, including 28 ABC affiliates, said it will preempt the series for the immediate future. God dang it. For the immediate future. Oh, God dang it. I lost it. I'm such an idiot. Hang on. Where am I? Oh, I lost it, Chris. Can you find it anywhere? Where can I find it on my? I just had it.
Give me 1 second. I'll look it up.
God dang it. I got to look up Jimmy.
Hollywood Reporter.
I don't know where I saw that. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. God dang it. I just had it. Threats. Next star was popular. God dang it.
I got it here.
You got it? Well, then you read it.
The network's action came just after Nexstar, one of the biggest, and blah, 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 like you just said. Said it was a preempt to the series for the immediate future. A source said to ABC had also heard from at least one other station group about the show, suggesting that a affiliate revolt may have played a role in the decision.
Does it go on to get into his what he said?
I'm trying to find it. All I see here is a quote from the president of Nexstar about his comments.
God dang it. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know how I lost that.
I could probably look it up on Facebook or YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
I had it and I somehow wiped it away. I don't know how I did that. I'm your typical old man. And somehow it's not breaking under Jimmy Kimmel. The latest news that I have on Jimmy Kimmel is FCC chair threatens ABC. I have nothing breaking about the show being indefinitely canceled, other than what popped up on my deal.
I believe I found Kimmel's thoughts on Charlie Kirk. If you want to play it,
Here it is. I got it. This is a different story. The company said Nexstar's own and partner television stations affiliated with ABC Television Network will preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Kimmel said on Jimmy Kimmel Live on Monday, quote, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it." Well, first of all, as we explained to you through text messages from his mother and testimony or answering questions from police from his mother, that she said directly over the past year, he had been moving more left, more pro-gay rights, more transgender rights, which the last I heard doesn't really fit in with a so-called member of MAGA or the conservative movement. On Tuesday, authorities charged Tyler Robinson and kids, and we don't care about that. Well, that's the news, and that's what he said. We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. I mean, just that. One of them? Who's them? Jimmy? You mean your fellow Americans? You mean possibly no, you're not your neighbors, huh? Not in your neighborhood, not in the suburbs of Los Angeles. Good. The chickens are coming home to roost. And you see, and I'm not going to bring up any names, but you see why I had such a problem with a local attorney who hours after Mr. Kirk's death was citing all of his foibles. And by the way, just for the record, that attorney, and I'm not going to name his name, by now you should probably hear we're running a promo, actually, I heard this morning. But he took it down from Facebook. Now, if that's not the proof of an error, I don't know what is. I don't take stuff down. If I wrote it, I meant it, I stand by it. I don't take stuff down. But we chronicled to you the school board member who said, I thought we were good with killing Nazis. She was at least smart enough to resign. The South Carolina teacher who said one Nazi down, she's out of a job. Good luck getting a job in the state of South Carolina, lady. The doctor who around a bunch of nurses said he got what he deserved and one of the nurses ratted him out, and she immediately got suspended. Then the higher ups at the hospital investigated it, fired the doctor, reinstated the nurse, but she said, no. Sued him anyway, and she's about to be a rich woman. We've never seen anything like this. We've never in American history seen anything like this. And I'm sorry, I was going to stay away from this. I really, really was. I really, on my father's grave, I was going to stay away from this. But you know what? Donald John Trump is right. He's absolutely right. This is coming from the left, period. The whole fascist discussion began with Hillary Clinton. The whole, and I had to have one of the listeners text me and remind me what she said, calling MAGA deplorable. That started in 2016. And they never realized what they were doing. They really didn't. Or maybe they did. And they just really, I want to try to believe that they don't want to run down this country. But a woman of Hillary Clinton's intelligence and experience doesn't understand that when you call Republicans deplorable, you're talking about half the god doggone country. You're saying that half of America is just absolutely worthless and they're following a fascist. And yet they will go on these talk shows and talk about unity and bringing us together and kumbaya. And then in the same sentence, call the leader of the free world a fascist, a dictator. He's never leaving in 28. It's just, it is the left. And it's rearing its head. Torres taking his Facebook down. Kimmel getting whacked. A doctor getting whacked. Teachers getting fired. And a nurse who's going to be rich because she pointed out that some educated medical professional, who, by the way, has what is called the Hippocratic Oath, where you save anybody, life is what it's all about. And here is this man, a life giver, reveling in the fact that a man is dead because of what he thought and what he believed. Not a gangbanger, not an urban terrorist, where you could almost be like, well, no, a 31-year-old father of two who was simply expressing his thoughts and challenging others to, in the words of Charlie Kirk, prove him wrong. Going on college campuses, engaging the youth, getting them involved, no matter what side they are. You can't say that Charlie Kirk didn't engage the youth of America at a time when we were losing them, at a time when they didn't give a damn about politics. They weren't voting. This is it. That's why I say I don't think this is repairable. I really don't. I really, really don't. Because now it's just human nature that now you've got the ire of the right up and the left are going to defend the Jimmy Kimmels of the world. What, you don't think they're going to circle the wagons around Jimmy Kimmel? They're going to blame this on Trump. They're going to say that that ABC only did this because the FCC was going to come down on them. And they're going to say that the only reason the FCC was going to come down on them is because Trump was going to come down on the FCC. No. Can you imagine Johnny Carson saying something like that? Can you even fathom David Letterman saying something like that? I wish you could all go back and watch an interview that Johnny Carson did. Johnny Carson was an extremely private man. And of course it took, and you'd have to know the era, Mike Wallace to get the interview. Wallace was the guy on 60 Minutes who could talk to anybody. He and Barbara Walters could talk to anybody. Walters once interviewed the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran. They were the two people when I was growing up that could talk to anybody. If Mike Wallace called you, you were probably going to sit down with him. And you should go back and watch an interview that Johnny Carson did. And the question that Wallace asked him is, are you offended by the fact that the only critique of your show is that you don't get political and you don't take on big issues? And Johnny was like, I'm not supposed to. He said, can you imagine Jack Benny taking a political side? Can you imagine Red Skelton taking sides politically. That's not my job. I got people laying in bed at 11:30 that want to laugh before they go to bed. They don't want to get fired up. They don't want to be angry. And now Colbert, Kimmel, I think the only one that has stayed apolitical, who's the one on NBC?
Fallon?
Fallon is the only one that I would watch for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I think he's more entertainment driven. He's more fun. He has games. But Colbert and Kimmel lecture their audience every single night. And now they're both on the job. Ain't that funny? Quick time out. Howard Marcus is next.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is
That's
96.1
incredible.
FM.
They fucking whacked the guy. He's there. He ain't coming back indefinitely. He gone.
Power from Town Hall.
Yep, he gone.
In Washington. The Federal Reserve will cut interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point, so they will now be between 4%
See that they
and 4.25%.
suspended Kimmel indefinitely.
Federal Reserve Board Chairman
For what he
Jerome
said
Powell
about
says
Kirk?
labor market concerns drove
He said
the rate
that
cut.
the market slowing.
we had a
both
new
the supply
low
of and
from the
demand for
MAGA.
workers
They're
is
trying to make
unusual.
this kid out not to
It
be a
is
MAGA
less
person
dynamic and
and
somewhat
trying to
softer
score
labor
political
market.
points.
The
But in
downside
fact, he
risks to
wasn't
employment
MAGA.
appear to have
He-
risen.
his parents
Fed
were,
officials
and his
led by
parents
Powell
said
had kept their
he was
rate
moving
unchanged
farther
this
to the
year as
left
they
over the last
evaluated the
year,
impact of tariffs,
and that he was
tighter
all,
immigration
pro-gay
enforcement,
and
and other Trump
pro-transgender.
administration policies on inflation and
They
the
suspended him
economy. They
indefinitely,
predicted 2
which
more
is,
rate cuts this year.
yeah, that's no.
The
you're
widow
not
of
gonna-
Alexei
You're not
Navalny says the 2 independent labs have found that her husband was
That's
poisoned shortly before his death in an Arctic
Hey,
penal
dude.
colony in Russia. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
Navalny explains Alexei had returned to his cell in the Russian prison and had convulsions in his face and upper limbs. In the medical office, they laid him on a couch. By this time, Alexei was already unconscious. Navalny, who crusaded against official corruption and staged massive anti-Kremlin protests as President Vladimir Putin's fiercest foe, died in the Arctic penal colony in February 2024. He was serving a 19-year sentence that he believed to be politically motivated. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro is rushing to the scene of a shooting in which at least 2 police officers were shot in the southern part of the state. Authorities say an investigation is occurring Wednesday in the area of North Codorus Township, west of Philadelphia, and not far from the Maryland line. On Wall Street, the Dow by 260 points, the Nasdaq dropped 72. More at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'm Bill Robbins. A traffic stop near Rosamond Boulevard and Sierra Highway leads to a drug bust. Police say that Bridget Ray was found with $40,000 worth of drugs in the vehicle and at a home. Ray was already on probation for a previous narcotics charge. Deputies say that a search revealed methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. During a follow-up search at Ray's home, detectives report finding a backpack with over 1,300 oxycodone pills, as well as psilocybin mushrooms and even more meth. Ray faces enhanced charges because the home is near a school. 2 homes on La Mirada Drive in central Bakersfield are damaged after a car crashed into both of them. Crash happened at around 11:30 Tuesday night.
The vehicle ended up in the living room of one home and caused major damage to both properties. One homeowner reported damage to his lawn, wall, and the fence and remarked the car went through his neighbor's living room. The driver ran away. The homes are on a bend just past the bridge over the Westdale Highway. Residents have been begging for better signage. A former Kern County Sheriff's Detention lieutenant has his hearing postponed until December. 45-year-old Patrick McNeil is accused of crashing his vehicle in 2 separate incidents while driving drunk. On Tuesday, his hearing was postponed until December 2nd. His attorney said that certain subpoenaed records had not yet been received. McNeil is currently out of jail. He faces 9 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor count. A camera has captured video of a fire and what looks like an explosion in the area of Tubman this morning. It came from an alert wildfire camera, and it showed a large plume of black smoke in what could have been an explosion near Skyline Road, close to the 5th largest oil field in the area. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Wednesday, 17th day of September. Opening day at the Great Kern County Fair. And I don't even think I've mentioned it yet. We're out there on Friday, live just off the opening gates, just off to your right, if you're out there. And I am going to storm into the general manager's office and complain.
Why is that now?
Do you know what day because we normally are out there on opening day. You know what day we're going out there on Friday?
Oh, no.
Tell them. Go ahead, tell them. Go ahead, tell them what day we're going.
Senior day.
It's senior day.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, there's nothing I can do to change this. Sorry.
I'm just having a difficult time. Just when it pops up on television, it says 62 plus. And I'm like, yes, what? Huh? Are you talking about me?
It used to be 65 plus, didn't it?
I don't know. Well, I thought that was technically a senior citizen was 65 plus.
That's what I thought too.
And I'm not there yet. But I'm 62. I'm 63, over 62. So I'm going to complain about being out there on senior day. At least I'm only $10. You know what first hit me when I was 55? This is a true story. I was walking. I'll get you in here in a second. I was walking home from Jeet's office, and I stopped off at the Denny's, and I just happened to turn the menu back on the back side. And it said 55 plus, the free. I was like, and I could live over there by Sundale Country Club now. I guess there are a few perks about being an old man. I guess I don't know. And I can play from the gold tees, and I'm seriously thinking about it. I really, really am. But it is a Wednesday. One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy, memories are made of this. The memories you tell to me. God, I love this song. I don't even want to bring you in here, Howard. I love this song so much. What's really going on?
Another long day.
Yeah. Do you hear the news? Jimmy Kimmel is about to get whacked. He's been suspended indefinitely, which is the last move before they tell you to get a box and get the hell out of the building.
Well, good. You know why it happened? I literally just read the article before you called. I just happened to see it. The FCC threatened him and said if they don't suspend him, the Disney Channel itself is going to face sanctions because under the FCC rulings, you cannot spread open, completely blatant falsehoods, apparently, under partisan stuff. And when he made the statement that the shooter was MAGA repeatedly after it was shown he wasn't, and that's what the whole brouhaha started.
Right.
was that he's just, he's complete denial. Look, he's a liberal idiot, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
And all the claims he's made. This is the guy that dressed up in blackface.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
Doing a horrible, horrible blackface. And he meant hate to the liberal. Oh, he's a to put it bluntly, he's a scumbag. I hope they cancel him. And look, his ratings are in the toilet anyways. I mean,
Yep.
cost them money.
Yeah, it is, and they're not making any money, just like Colbert.
Nope.
And it'll be interesting to see how the left circles the wagons around this guy, as they did with Colbert. He never won an Emmy in his life, never been close, and just coincidentally, as he's getting the boot out the door, they give him not only an Emmy but a standing ovation. And apparently, he went on for 6 or 7 minutes rambling about his horrible ratings and his $20 million salary. Unbelievable.
For me, it's one of those things where I don't watch award shows. I haven't for years.
I don't either.
Because they are a congratulatory circle back patting. They spend more time falling over each cause that is politically correct and congratulating each other. And why the common public even watches it, I don't get it.
I don't either. I used
Something
to,
in it for you and me.
and I used to be the biggest award show guy. When I first got here 12 years ago, I instituted we did an Oscar pool. It was so interesting, but I haven't been involved in the Oscars or the Emmys in 5 or 6 years. And by the way, we talked about this, I think, yesterday or Monday. Not one mention of Charlie Kirk on that broadcast. And when they were asked about it, they said, well, we purposely did that because this is a time of joy and we didn't want to go there. Oh, give me a break.
But the Jewish actress man, she yelled, "Palestine will be free." Yeah, that's a moment of joy. For ethnic cleansing of Jews.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a joke. It's been a joke forever. I remember the year one of the biggest legacy movies ever, Star Wars, gets beaten out by a movie. It would be a trivia question. I believe it was The Turning Point. The 70s. What? And they're not a barometer of what popular culture embraces. They're a barometer. They're basically a barometer of what the snooty critics happen to like, regardless of what it does at the box office or how culturally relevant it may be in later years.
Yeah.
I stopped watching years ago.
It's basically inside LA and what inside LA people think. And as a former LA resident, let me tell you something. LA folks are the last people you want judging anything. Anything.
It's a shame that they have the rating. Look, the ratings get lower and lower every year. And
Yeah.
have been historically, as more and more people figure this out. They're a time waster at best, and they're completely irrelevant to anything in the real world. They always have been.
Yeah.
And Oscars used to be a huge deal.
Like I said,
they really were.
Yeah, like I said, 12, 13 years ago, we used to do a pool. Everybody was into it. Everybody had seen the pictures that were involved. And now, most average Americans have seen maybe one, maybe two of the nominated films. They don't even see them.
What? Wait a minute. You haven't watched Slumdog Millionaire 47 times?
No. Sorry.
I never saw it. Yeah.
Never saw it.
What?
Never saw it. Never saw
Exactly.
it. Anyway, what's going on with you? Anything you want to get into? You want to fight with?
Right now,
You
I
want to?
hate Southern California Edison with a passion. We're only halfway through September.
Yeah.
With 1 day's notice, they just cut the power out for the 4th time this month.
So you're without power right now.
Maybe what?
You're without power right now.
It just came out at 3 o'clock. Went off at 8.
Wow.
90-something degrees and no air. And people up here tend to be elderly, tend to be on medical devices. Most of them can't afford an expensive generator. They gave you literally a text the day before.
I just don't understand.
Not the wind or weather or anything. It required maintenance, like they haven't scheduled this a month in advance.
You hit it on the head. What about medical devices? Something as simple as a CPAP or, God forbid, anything more serious than that. I just don't understand how they can ethically get away with this.
Well, you know what they do is they, quote unquote, have a cooling center. Half these people are probably housebound. They're elderly.
Yes.
They have a little station down there. You can go down and get a cool drink and sit there. Sort of like what Bakersfield's done in the heat waves.
Right.
The senior centers. And if you apply for it, if you apply and you qualify and you have a note from your doctor, they'll give you a small backup battery, which usually can run 1 or 2 devices. And it's not too bad if it's 1 day at a time and it's like once a month, you can kind of live with it. But twice in 1 week, and it's Monday and today.
That's
it's 4 times
crazy.
a month. Their utility outside of our state, if you look at rates of power costs, Most of the states around us, they're co-ops. They're not like they are now in
Right.
California. And the costs are, for the same level of power, the same level of energy given, they're dramatically lower. And I don't want to start ranting and raving, but, it's a corrupt system.
It is.
Some, for example, exempted PG&E from the Paradise Fire, gave them basically a waiver from liability. They killed people.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did.
Never had to pay the price.
And the crazy thing is, we have been talking about that for years.
Yep.
For years leading up to that. This was going to be a problem, that they're not clearing the brush. They're not doing a decent job at just being prepared for such a thing. And bing, bang, bong, it happens. And they get it, and they get a pass.
They got to pass.
I just don't understand it.
The PBS special in the Paradise Fire, the power system had a 60-year life. The Paradise Fire was 65 years in before they upgraded. In other words, 5 years past the expected expiration, safe expiration of the system. And what they did is it was called a fix by failure. As they had these things go south, that's when they fixed it, rather than systemic wide. And the gall they had to run these ads recently, as you've seen, where PG comes on, this guy's prattling on the truck how much safer they are and better, or things are great now. Yeah, you've caused billions of dollars of damage. You've killed people. You lost thousands of homes, and now you fixed it. And by the way, we pay for that fix because you didn't have to pay out any claims.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Rant of the day.
And well said. Well said. Can't believe it. What else is going on? Anything? Are you a fair guy?
No.
Are you a
not
fair
anymore.
fair family?
Why do they have it when it's hot as heck? You're staggering around 95-degree weather. You're paying overpriced prices for food, and I know we used to go every year for something to do, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of desperation, but no, I haven't gone in years.
It would be a good idea to back it up maybe to October. I don't know
Why
why.
not push it back a month?
Just a couple of weeks even, because it's about to get cool. And I think for the majority of the 2 weeks, it is going to be cooler. It'll be in the 80s, I think. But
Well, they make that joke every year. The heat wave, time for the fair. It's 95 degrees. The end of summer.
Yeah. They've got some decent talent, though. Shantae's going to be there, and the Marshall Tucker Band is going to be there. I don't know how many of the original members, because they...
Probably 2 or 3 if you're lucky.
Yeah. The Isley Brothers. And again, how many of the original?
I found out years ago why the Mid-State Fair always had, class acts, huge acts.
Right.
And what it is, there's a state fund pool for acts. Individual venues like Mid-State can pay more for an act, and Kern County doesn't do that. They won't pay the extra money, so they'll get like Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah.
They'll say Mid-State Fair would get somebody like say Elton John or Cher.
Ooh.
A completely different level of entertainment.
Wow. Yeah, that is a big difference.
Yeah. It's like that. I've gone more times to Mid-State Fair for concerts than I ever did here. Here it's mostly nostalgia acts or acts that are 40 years old.
Yeah.
Denigrating because the price is right for the gate of price of admission really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the way it is. The fair is good if you have if you have little kids. Great place to take the kids.
True that. They do love it.
That's the whole reason. They got the midway. You got the animals. You got all the exhibits. It's great for somebody with kids.
Yeah, it really is, especially the animals. I'm not sure, and again, I'm not trying to denigrate the Great Kern County Fair, but dude, I would not get on those rides.
Oh no,
I would not. I've seen the carnies that put these things together, dude, and I'm like, no. And there hasn't been an accident for years, so it's extremely safe. I'm not trying to put a damper on your 2-week experience, y'all, for parents and grandparents. I'm just talking for Ralph Bailey. I'm not sure I'd get on one of those things.
We had a horrible experience about 20-something years ago. Mary and I were on that one. It's like 2 cars, each one on the end of an arm, like they call it the hammer or something.
Right.
And next to that was a normal ride, sort of like a Ferris wheel, which you actually spin upside down and you suspended. We were on that, and it broke while we're at the very top upside down.
Really?
And all that's holding us in is that classic roller coaster bar. And Mary is very petite, and she started to slip out.
Really?
So I'm holding the bar with one hand, and I'm holding her plummeting to her death head first, and watching all the change in my pockets scattered to the ground below. And we were stuck for like 15 minutes.
Literally upside down.
Upside down and about 50 feet up.
Wow.
Stuck between me and the ground by that classic roller coaster bar across your lap.
Yeah, that would pretty much put an end to my roller coaster rides.
Last time we went.
Yeah, I can't see that. Anything else on your thoughts and mind?
I'll go back to our comment on firearms, which is, I don't want to start another discussion, but the firearm that Charlie Kirk was unfortunately shot with, that shows the difference in the lethality, by the way, between that rifle and an AR-15. The round that killed Charlie was a 30-06, and that round, what that references is the caliber 30, and the year was originally adopted by the U.S. military in 1906. That is the same round in World War I and World War II and Korea, in the Garands they had in the 03 Springfield. It is 3 times the bullet weight of a 223 bullet, which is the AR standard bullet, much higher velocity and incredibly destructive.
Right.
When I heard he was shot and saw the bolt-action rifle, by the way, not an Eagle Black rifle, a bolt-action hunting rifle, I as soon as I saw the rifle, recognized it because I had one at one point. It was called a Bradley A bolt. Anywhere in the upper body, you would be dead.
Yeah, when JR told me that he was shot in the neck, I was like,
It was done at that point. That's why you saw the incredible amount of blood, because it's a much larger caliber. It's literally almost twice or 3 times the diameter. The bullet weighs 3 times the weight.
Yeah.
And that was the old school, was that you didn't want to wound the enemy, you wanted to kill him. And it's tragic because, as you'd asked on the air, 200 yards is very doable.
Yeah.
I shot a match on Saturday at 175 with just a 22. They hit a little 6-inch steel plate and hit a 30 for 30. Yeah, you any kind of practice at all to do with a scoped rifle, it's very doable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I know hunters that could make that shot.
Oh yeah, it's an easy shot, unfortunately.
I don't know if you could call it easy, given
Well,
the
doable. I'm gonna say doable.
given the
Anybody that
circumstances.
practices with a scoped rifle any length of time, which this guy apparently had considerable experience with his dad, it's easy. You're right. It's doable.
What do you think of the left, along with Kimmel? Now I heard Montel Williams. I watch Abby Phillip every night.
I just read that article.
Did you see that? Where he's trying to say that
it was out of love. It wasn't the ideology.
Yeah, it was a love story. It was a love story. I actually watched him say that last night, and I was really, really disappointed. Abby kind of jumped in and was like, hang on, it was politically driven. But she should have gotten after him about that, because that is a ridiculous, incredibly absurd thing to say.
Well, that's the problem with some people that just don't know what they're saying. But remember, he's basically reduced to this point because of the serious disease he has.
Yeah.
Basically doing infomercials,
Yeah, he didn't look well. He should not have been on that show.
For years now.
What does he have, MS?
It's MS, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no cure. And I give him some sympathy for that. But why didn't you ask that guy for his opinion?
Yeah.
It had no relevance to the case. Like, people are speaking up that you would never hear from, and they're giving weight to their opinions that you would never ask them for the time of day.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't get it. And they make these idiot statements. It's like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah. Getting political statements out of comedians like Jimmy Kimmel or Whoopi Goldberg on The View. It's like, please.
I don't understand it, and people give them weight to their, they give them weight to their opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's like, if you're an entertainer, entertain me. If I want political statements, I'll get them from somebody who actually has knowledge of the subject or has a life experience, not a comedian. And especially these are not prime comedians. Jimmy Kimmel was never known as a George Carlin, or anybody you can think of that you and I would watch or listen to and enjoy. He was never on that level, ever.
You know how his career started?
Oh, who?
How his career started?
Well, he was on the Man Show with Adam Carolla.
He was radio. He was a radio guy. When I started doing radio, my first radio gig was a 2-man show with Chris Porphyry or Chris Townsend called The Chris and Ralph Show. And after about a year, they had us sit down and listen to Kimmel and Carolla to get an understanding of how a 2-man show works. And I remember thinking, this is what I'm supposed to be? I'm supposed to follow this guy? He's not very funny. He's not very smart. They don't really deal with topics and politics. They kind of do the show that I always wanted to do, and that's just kind of, hey, what's going on? Let's just kind of shoot the crap. You know what I'm saying? But
their whole claim to fame was they were supposed to be just average guys.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of show it was.
The show was 2 boobs, basically women, girls on trampolines.
Yep, I remember that too.
So, and I was never impressed by. I liked Adam Carolla much better.
Absolutely,
I liked the sharper wit.
Absolutely, and much smarter. Much smarter. Yeah. Run out of time, Howard. Always good to talk to you, sir. Have a wonderful. What you got?
We got news from his wife Mary that it is his birthday on Sunday.
What? Happy birthday! What are you doing for your birthday, Howard?
Well, I'm probably eating at Denny's.
Eating at Denny's.
No kidding. Enjoying the menu. Honestly, a little. When you get to a certain age, you really don't want to celebrate anymore. It's just
No kidding.
much closer to the graveyard, so to speak.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not much of anything. Just go out to probably quiet dinner.
You going to tell us?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Well, go ahead and tell us.
Well.
¿Qué es el número? ¿Cuánto tienes
70,
años?
Less than 70. No, honestly, I turned 67.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm right behind you, brother.
You're right behind me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Jack.
No, it's not bad.
We're senior
I feel better
citizens.
now than I did in a long time, to put it that way.
And it beats the alternative, my brother. It beats the alternative.
Hey, this side of the grass.
That's what I keep trying to tell myself. Always good to talk to you, sir. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Talk to you next Thursday. Howard Marcus. Quick timeout. Not a lot of time before we get to the bottom of the hour. It's TRBS. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Rod Geis.
Hello, Kern County. This is Rod Geis. My wife and I recently changed our health care coverage to Medicare. We were so fortunate to have found Paul Sheldon. Paul and his associates Kelly, Lynn, and Christine.
God, I hate water.
Were indispensable in guiding us through the transition.
I hate water.
With comprehensive knowledge and experience in all aspects of insurance, Medicare, and the option. They listened to our questions every time we walked in the door, and they followed up very promptly with the answers we needed. With Paul's help, we made the best decisions for us. The process was painless, and we now have comprehensive medical coverage at a very affordable
Say what?
price.
Do what now?
So if you were considering retirement and a change to Medicare coverage,
Yeah.
Paul Sheldon Insurance Benefits and
Is there a
Planning
sugar in it?
is hands down the best
Really?
place you can go.
When Medicare
Where do you get 'em?
matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Hi,
Oh, yeah?
I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming
At
TV
Arco?
company that's proud to be different.
Arco?
At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV?
I can never get
I
over
run a
a
streaming
fucking
company, and
big
even I
damn
can't figure it out.
car.
From hidden fees to
And
impossible
when he
rate
shakes your
contracts
hand
to
and just
dozens
like
of
engulfs
confusing
your
apps,
fucking-
TV has
'Cause I
gotten
got
way
big
too
hands.
hard. So we set out
But
to make
he
it
just
better.
fucking
You want to watch
just,
live
like-
TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can
Oh, they're
skip
up
all
in
the
Fresno.
ads. No problem. Your favorite show is over? You
Yeah.
want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than
Why they wanna
100
live in
free
Fresno?
channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV for a price you
I
can
know.
afford.
And it's further
Visit
from
Philo,
LA,
we're TV
so it's a
fans
longer
too.
drive for
Head to
David to do
philo.tv/Andrew
his
to
NFL
start a
stuff.
free trial
And his
see for
parents
yourself.
are here.
That's philo.tv/Andrew.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m.
I guess.
on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now,
June and Johnny on, I think it was Dean Martin's show, doing Jackson. That is my favorite. It's not my, I guess it's not my favorite Johnny Cash song, but it's my favorite duet that they do together. I'm going back to Jackson. Look out, old Jackson Town. A lot of people don't know that that June Carter Cash came from a very, very famous singing family long before she met Johnny and long before Johnny was the sensation that he became. They were part of a family group. The mom led, and there were like 3 daughters. And then June went off on her own and caught up with Johnny and literally Elvis. I mean, you all have seen the movie, I'm assuming. Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Where she gets a part of the. Why is Big Dog texting me every 2 seconds?
I have no idea. Not sure what he's trying to get a hold of you for.
What is wrong with your Dodgers?
Thanks, Big Dog.
Yeah. I mean, really? Stevie Wonder knows what's wrong with the Dodgers. Are you kidding me?
Well, Stevie's also lying about being blind. So
And it's about time that we move off of Dave Roberts. I just think it's time. 2 championships in 11 years of winning the division with this kind of talent. And it's not even against Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is a good manager. I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I just think sometimes after years and years of the same guy in the same locker room, you need another voice and you need another decision maker, because the straw that broke the camel's back with me was Yoshi Yamamoto through 8 2/3 hitless ball, because I'm not even going to talk about Shohei going 5 last night of hitless ball, and then they pull him out. We score 6 runs in the next inning, and then Blake Trinan gives up a 3-run home run in the 9th inning. I just found that out this morning because I cut out at 6-4, but Yamamoto needed 3 strikes. You got to give him a second chance after the home run. He's thrown 8 2/3 innings of no hit ball. He gives up 1 home run, and you yank him? No.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith
Wednesday,
Peters in
what
Washington.
is for
Authorities say
dinner?
3 police officers are fatally shot and 2 wounded Wednesday in southern Pennsylvania, and the shooter was killed by police. Governor Josh Shapiro said Wednesday the state is grieving and that we need to do better as a society. The shooting erupted in the area of North Cadoris Township, west of Philadelphia and not far from the Maryland line. President Trump is relishing a day filled with British royal pageantry with King Charles III. Wednesday's start to his 2-day state visit included military honor guards, carriage rides, and a state dinner. Mr. Trump also paid tribute at Queen Elizabeth II's tomb. On Wall Street, the Dow by 260 points, the Nasdaq dropped 72. This is SRN News.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A former Arvin Animal Control officer has been arrested on multiple charges, including embezzlement and possession of child pornography. Clayton Nunley worked for the city for 3 years. 2 Arvin police officers reportedly discovered discrepancies while auditing the city's gas cards. There were also text messages about sex-related services and an alleged nude picture of a minor on the phone. Dignity Health Arena was the scene of a candlelight vigil held to honor Charlie Kirk, who was shot dead last week at a speaking event in Utah. The event was filled with American flags and began with a parade from Rosedale Highway to Riverfront Park. There were also prayers and worship. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm going to
Cash I earned from using
Jackson.
Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey from Sangera Subaru. One of the best things I admire about Subaru, how they give back to our community. And the start of the school year is the perfect time to recognize our teachers and principals with Subaru's
How much time I got?
VIP Educator Program. Now, through October 31st, at Sangera Subaru, teachers, principals, or assistants of pre-K through 12th grade are eligible to receive $500 off the purchase or lease of a brand new Subaru. That's right. $500 in savings plus utilizing Subaru's monthly sales incentive. So if you're a teacher, principal, or assistant, Call Sangera Subaru at 661-836-3737 or stop by and see my dear friends Damon Culberts and Hassan Levy. The whole Subaru team is ready to help, but it's only good through October 31st. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community.
Offer available August 1st through October 31st and subject to change. Cannot be combined with any other VIP programs, but can be combined with retailer or consumer incentives. This offer applies to active classroom teachers, principals, and vice principals at pre-K through 12 schools.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey.
I didn't talk about this, and I was excited this morning, but I got even more excited when Coach Clark was with us. We brought him in the studio, and the very first thing he said was, I was in there listening to your show. Dude, I am terrified of killer whales. And I was like, really? And I didn't say anything, but I thought that funny because, Chris, who is the biggest self-confessed coward that you know?
Unfortunately, that would go to you.
That's right. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not. I'm the biggest coward you know. And even I'm not afraid of killer whales, only because I know I'm never getting in a tank with them.
True.
I know I ain't never sailing off the coast of Portugal.
True.
As much as I would actually like to. And I'm certainly never going to be deeper enough in the ocean to be affected by a killer whale. Now, I am petrified of sharks because there is a possibility that I meet some beautiful woman and we go to the Bahamas and she says, come on, Ralph, let's get in the ocean. What am I going to say? No, honey, I'm afraid of sharks. And yes, they can attack you at 5 or 6 feet. No, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to go swimming with my new woman. And next thing you know, I'm Peg Leg Bailey. You know what I'm saying? There's a reality to that. But the chances of being confronted by Shamu are pretty. But I get what he's saying because the videos, you know, what's that documentary that got, we did an hour on that like 5 or 6 years ago. You remember that documentary about orcas and the ones that are in captivity, which I think is an absolute travesty because you can't tell me that's good for them. We were talking about this with Coach Carr, that if you pay attention to the ones down in San Diego or in Orlando in captivity, their dorsal fins are all like this. And if you're not watching on YouTube, basically it's shaped like a U, as opposed to like a shark's dorsal fin or a dolphin or a killer whale that is completely erect. Somehow, when they get into captivity, they look like an N. They just wilt.
You know what it is, or what I think it is. I can't say for sure.
It's captivity.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's the fact that they're in. It would be like us being captive in like a large, what do you call those things? Hot tub.
Right. Exactly. And when whales sleep, I'm assuming they would sleep close to the surface. And when you're obviously in a tank close to the surface, there's probably a lid, and obviously it grows that way.
I don't know how orcas sleep. That's a great question.
I know. That's the only thing I could think of is that maybe if they're sleeping towards the top of the tank and they're getting hit by that little cover and then it grows that way.
Well, they put a cover over the.
That's what I would assume because you can't leave them uncovered because then if they try to jump out and land themselves and can't get back into the water.
I've never thought of that.
I'm just thinking of the ones in San Diego. That's the only thing.
You've seen the lids on them?
No, not necessarily. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they put lids on them. I don't think they put lids on them.
If anybody's got more information on that,
please. If there's the marine biologist out there, feel free. In fact, you know what? Let's book a marine biologist.
Get somebody
and talk about orcas because I've always been fascinated by them. I remember the first time we went to San Diego and saw Shamu. It was great. You know, we sat in that. I wanted to sit in the. I made my mother sit in the
Splash zone.
splash area, and we got soaking wet. It was a summer day. It was great. And then I just got interested in them. And then that documentary, I can't remember. Does anybody remember the name of that? It was Black something. I can't remember. But it was a documentary about Blackfish, where these orcas were attacking their trainers. And of course, since it's a show, all the attacks are live on television. A couple of them happened during training, but where out of nowhere they would take this trainer they'd been training with for years and grab him by the foot and take him down and try to drown him. They're very intelligent animals. And there was another one just recently where the girl, he tried to grab her head. She was like a mermaid. You see that video?
I have, yeah.
And he kind of grabbed her head and somehow didn't clamp on her teeth because their teeth are like the size of a bear's claw.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're gargantuan, and they are very sharp because, like I said, they eat the livers of great white sharks, and they surgically cut the shark to get to the liver. They're incredibly intelligent. They're incredibly familial. They hunt in packs or pods. And the story that the Today Show had this morning was the fact that there is a rash of orca attacks on ships, hundreds since 2020, coming down from like Ireland down off the coast of Portugal, because that's their feeding area. And they come down and they go back up during the winters, and they're chasing after bluefin tuna. And the scientists that I heard in the piece this morning insist that they're not trying to kill human beings, but they just see this thing with this fin, because the main attack comes on the rudder of the ship, which absolutely leaves it, it's like a plane without hydraulics. There's no way to steer the damn ship. And then they start ramming it. And the Today Show, one of the reasons I think they did the story is because they had video of the most recent attack where 5 people were left stranded. They got them off the ship safely, but you see the beginning of the attack and these 5 people scurrying around their ship, absolutely panicked because they're surrounded. Imagine being at sea on a sailboat and you're surrounded by a dozen killer whales, which can get up to 32 feet and 6 tons. Now, even a guy that got a 480 on the math SAT knows that 6 tons is about 1,200 pounds, 12,000 pounds, excuse me, 12,000 pounds. Isn't that right? Am I doing the math right? 12 and 6, because a ton is 2,000 pounds, right? So what did I say?
12,000 pounds, right?
Times how many orcas did I say? 12?
12, yes.
So you're talking about 24,000 pounds of fish surrounding you, and they're just pounding your boat. These 6-ton, 32 feet long, just pounding your boat. And slowly but surely, in the video, the nose goes first, it lurches to the left, and then just down it goes, Jack.
This has to be a hunting thing for them.
That's what the scientists are expecting. They have no motive other than they don't think that they get confused and think it's something that they can eat. They think they're just screwing around. At the end of the piece, the scientist was, we think it's just playful play. And they can't explain how it just started in 2020. Robert Kennedy would say it was COVID. Little joke there. But I just found it absolutely fascinating. I really did. They
could you imagine if these guys and dolphins are just getting fed up with us and said, you know what? Nah, we're done.
We're tired of these people.
Yeah, we're done with these monkeys walking around on the surface.
The first thing I thought of?
What's that now?
Great motion picture.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Great motion picture.
The Terror of the Deep.
The Terror of the Deep, or The Black and White Killers.
Ooh.
Starring Shamu.
They go get the entire cast
and these pods, and you could have real video of them, because them fishing is some of the most fascinating stuff I've ever seen. Have you ever seen the video where they're going after a penguin that's on an iceberg and how they all team up to create waves to get the penguin off the boat, off the iceberg? And then poor little penguin. I mean, that's like, you know,
That's just not fair.
that's like caviar and crackers to these guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a morsel.
At this point, they're all talking to each other, saying who gets to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can't share a penguin. Maybe it must have been like a bunch of penguins. I can't remember. Because you're right. One penguin, and the orca's like, damn, that's kind of like Chinese food.
Oh, they do hunt in packs, so I'm assuming it's probably.
You
just
didn't even
gonna
let
be
the laugh get in there after that joke. You got
Okay.
you got to wait after Chinese food. And give it 1-2 with the audience.
My bad.
I'm kidding.
I'm too fascinated with this conversation.
It is fascinating, and I didn't think it was until Darren came in, and the very first thing he said, I was listening there, dude, and I am deathly scared of killer whales.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, but how could you? It's like being afraid of gorillas. Like, when are you ever gonna come and encounter with a gorilla?
Harambe.
I'm more afraid of mountain lions and stuff like that.
Fair.
Things that you could actually, you know.
Oh yeah, when it's not really a reality for you. Like,
Yeah.
where'd the fear really come from?
Yeah, elephants scare the crap out of me, but I'm never gonna meet an elephant.
I think Coach Carr just got scared after watching Free Willy one day.
I dare you to ask him that next time he's in here. That is funny. But yeah, it was just a great story that they did. And like I said earlier in the program, I did not know that they were part of the dolphin family, but it makes sense because I always thought dolphins were the baddest thing in the sea. When I found out watching Flipper. Did you ever watch Flipper?
Oh yeah.
And Flipper could kick a shark's ass.
Yup.
And that's when I was like 10 years old. I was like, oh, dolphins are the baddest ones in the damn sea, Jack. Flip just took his nose and rammed into a shark, and the shark just, and Flipper just, and I'm like, yeah, he just killed a shark. Badass. Because Tommy would be in trouble. Tommy would be swimming, and the shark would be coming, and Flipper would be like, oh no, you're messing with my boy. And bang, he'd hit him in the kidneys or in the side, and the shark would die. Love that. And then found out it was accurate. And then we found out about killer whales. And they are the predator. I think the guy called them the pterodactyl of the sea. Nobody messes with these guys except us.
Of course.
Yeah. I think they said there was something like only like 100 left. That's just crazy.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, something in my head is telling me these highly intelligent creatures are just fed up with us.
They're just saying, where'd all our people go? Let's
Exactly.
go kill the people that are killing us.
You're killing us by getting rid of our food, so
Yeah.
we're gonna level the playing field.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Jack. But they are beautiful, beautiful animals. They really are. I find them just incredible. And the way they hunt and they screw around and they're so familial and so intelligent. I've just always been a fan. It was a great story that they did this morning. They really did. And again, as we talked about, they live to be 90. That's like life expectancy. So meaning, I guess if they don't drink and smoke, they could live to be 100, 110. Quick time out. We'll check the board, see what you guys are talking about. Coming up at the 5, we will talk a little bit about prostate cancer. There's a little tiny bit of misinformation on Channel 17. Not a big deal. But I just can't let people think that just because your PSA number is below 4.0, that you're okay. It's just not true. Bob Price kind of intimated that in a really nice piece that he did, bringing awareness to prostate cancer and making aware that the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center is providing absolutely free blood exams to the end of the month. If you're over 40, 45 years old and you don't take advantage of this because you're not going to your doctor, you're a moron. You're an absolute moron. And I'm living it, as I've talked about. Mine 3 years ago was 1.2. Outstanding. Jumped to 3.7. I'm below 4, but guess what? Hemel Cothry said, come in here. I need to examine you. I'm going to put you on some antibiotics because we're praying that it's an infection, but it's not necessarily the number. It's how it's jumped in a short period of time. And as one of our callers who we've had on as a guest came in and corrected me and said, Ralph, just because you're 3.7 doesn't mean you're cancer-free. We'll talk more about it coming up in the 5. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk.
Casey.
KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Thursday edition of the First Look program, we got some idiots that are going to come in and get swatted in football picks. We'll have the latest on what's going on at the Great Kern County Fair, this weird TikTok algorithm thing, and all the latest in news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
How many times have I told you guys no one, and I do mean no one, loves the holidays more than Cassie Biddle, owner-operator of Casey Steakhouse, and the speakeasy next door as well, the Stockyard. Well, Halloween is right around the corner, and Cassie is already ready. They're having what they're calling 1001 Nights of Halloween. It's obviously on Halloween. It starts at 6:30. She's saying skip the costume party and join the folks at Casey Steakhouse for dinner and belly dancing show. That's right. They're going to have live belly dancers. It's $150 a guest. It includes 3 hours of performers, the aforementioned belly dancers, a 5-course meal, 2 craft cocktails, and of course, you got to take photos with the dancers. That is obviously October 31st, Halloween night, 6:30 at KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
Don't worry, kiddo. We have stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, Lucky dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1-year, no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over? You want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV for a price you can afford. Because at Philo, we're TV fans too. Head to philo.tv/Andrew to start a free trial and see for yourself. That's philo.tv/Andrew.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
My phone died, but as it died, I was reading breaking news out of York County, Pennsylvania, where I was once offered a job and almost moved to York, Pennsylvania, until I found out the history of York, and it was just kind of a dark and ugly town. But I almost went to work for the York Daily Record, and my phone's going to take a while. But Chris, can you pull it up? What's going on with the shooting of the police officers?
I got here 5 police officers were shot and 3 of them were killed while serving a warrant at a York County farm Wednesday afternoon. The 2 surviving officers are in critical condition and stable at Wellspan York Hospital. The suspect is dead. Said he was shot by law enforcement, is what I understand.
Well, at least this was not that it brings any solace to the family or to the situation, but at least it wasn't just some kind of random shooting. It was a confrontation with a criminal. You know what I mean? As heartless as that may sound, I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
I'm reading here as well that they were trying to serve a warrant for a domestic incident that happened on Tuesday.
You talk to any police officer and they will tell you, I would rather run down an alley chasing an armed gangbanger than go to a home that is involved with domestic violence. To almost a person, they will tell you that. It's one of the most dangerous because obviously, if it's gotten to the point where somebody's called 911, it's pretty damn ugly. And somebody's put their hands on somebody and they're most likely either high or drunk. It's one of the worst things about and I'm addicted, I can't lie. I watch more reels on my phone than I watch, maybe not as much television, but my routine now is I come home, I watch Pardon the Interruption, which is the best sports show on television with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon. By that time, it's like 7 o'clock, so I'll go back and forth between the Dodger game and Abby Phillip. And I always stay behind because I just spin through. I don't want to see the other team hit. I spin through that. And then once the Dodger game is over, roughly around 9:30, I just watch reels till about 11, maybe sometimes midnight. And I constantly see these police confrontations. And the worst are domestic violence situations where it's normally, obviously, the male. 8, 9 times out of 10, he's either drunk or high, meaning that he's absolutely unreasonable. The most important person in his life has made him angry, so nobody else matters. And when the cops show up, 7, 8 times out of 10, they couldn't give a damn. They couldn't give a damn. They have no sense of this is authority and I'm going to jail, or maybe they realize they're already going to jail. So I'm going to either try to fight you or even shoot you. And it's just, like I said, I think it's completely irreparable. We are a violent nation and we have a lot of sick people out there who put their hands on women, have no respect for law enforcement, and even further want to take action against political either actors or those who are influential. It is a horrendous period in American history. And unfortunately, I think the only thing we can do is just live it out. There have been, I study history, and there have been violent periods in America, the 1960s, as opposed to the 1950s. The 50s, a lot of people say was a boring decade, but it was a decade that was pretty damn peaceful, save the Korean War. We had just come out of World War II, obviously, and this police action in Korea. And the 50s was kind of a, benevolent period. And then came the 60s and the death of John Kennedy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who you got?
Sean is on the line.
Sean, you got about a minute and a half. What do you got?
Hey, how you doing, Mr.
Good, man.
Interesting. I got an opportunity to hear you talk about whales.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm hearing Santa Barbara, and I cited a few of them before. One was on Monterey Bay.
Really?
Yeah, and that was a big scene in here on Channel Island.
I bet. Was it like a bunch of them or just one?
No, they go in packs.
Yeah, it was a pot of them.
Yeah, they go in packs. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because right when you started talking about that YouTube short, and literally this, it was a luxury boat. It looks so adorable, so cute. And one lady, she started, she was running with it, and they just destroyed the boat and hopped in it and hopped out. Like, how intelligent.
The one in Santa Barbara?
No, this is some random YouTube short.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I must have seen on the Today Show. Yeah,
Yeah, like they're incredibly smart.
they are.
And I think they're the only animals that can really pick apart a great white. And it's interesting because they'll literally like propel them out the water and literally catapult in the air and snatch the liver out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the call, man. I got to fly as we head into the 5 o'clock hour. Don't go anywhere. Anybody, don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
Yeah, we got to get a marine biology.
This hour from Town Hall, I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
Called like
An
San
extravagant banquet
Diego.
capped President
Huh?
Trump's first day of his two-day state visit
As
to
opposed to
Britain.
what?
King Charles and Queen Camilla honored President and Mrs. Trump with a lavish banquet at Windsor Castle's St. George's Hall. In toast remarks, the president called his second state visit to the UK truly one of the highest honors of my life. The king celebrated the alliance between the two countries and said they should stand together with their allies to defeat tyranny and support Ukraine.
White House
Yeah, I do have it.
correspondent
She had
Greg
to have given it to
Clugston
me.
says the
Elizabeth had to have
president
given
is
it to me.
scheduled to meet with British Prime Minister Starmer on Thursday before returning to Washington. The Federal Reserve will cut interest rates by 1/4 percentage point.
Yeah.
Fed Reserve Board Chairman Jerome Powell says the labor market does not look like it did the last time the Fed met.
What's different now is that you see a very different picture of the risks to the labor market.
Yeah, I
You've
got
seen-
it. Yeah, I got it.
We were looking at 150,000 jobs a month at the time of the last meeting. And now we see the revisions and we see the new numbers. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on payroll job creation, but it's just one of the things that suggests that the labor market is really cooling off. And that tells you that it's time to take that into account in our policy.
There was one dissenting voice in the Fed's recommendation, that of President Trump's appointee, Stephen Myron. He wanted a 0.5 percentage point cut. Authorities say 3 police officers were fatally shot and 2 wounded Wednesday in southern Pennsylvania, and the shooter was killed by police. Governor Josh Shapiro says the state is grieving and that we need to do better as a society. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 260 points, the Nasdaq dropped 72, the S&P lower by 6. More at townhall.com.
Guess who's watching Rob Finnerty on Newsmax? President Trump is. He even says Finnerty's show is so terrific. Millions are joining President Trump to watch Finnerty every night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. All this week, Rob looks at the media's war on President Trump. Rob gives you the facts about the National Guard in cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. He tells you the real truth about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and he reveals the big media's agenda on Trump's health. You need to watch Rob Finnerty on Newsmax. Check out your local cable system. Newsmax is on all major systems. Or download the free Newsmax app. It costs you nothing, and you can watch in minutes. Finnerty is the fastest growing primetime news show in America. Find out why even President Trump is tuning in. More than 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news they can trust. Because we are real news for real people.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm
Oh,
Robbins.
Lord.
A traffic stop near Rosamond Boulevard and Sierra Highway leads to a drug bust. Police say that Bridget Ray was found with $40,000 worth of drugs in the vehicle and at a home. Ray was already on probation for a previous narcotics charge. Deputies say that a search revealed methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. During a follow-up search at Ray's home, detectives report finding a backpack with over 1,300 oxycodone pills, as well as psilocybin mushrooms and even more meth. Ray faces enhanced charges because the home is near a school. 2 homes on La Mirada Drive in central Bakersfield are damaged after a car crashed into both of them. Crash happened at around 11:30 Tuesday night. The vehicle ended up in the living room of one home and caused major damage to both properties. One homeowner reported damage to his lawn, wall, and the fence and remarked the car went through his neighbor's living room. The driver ran away. The homes are on a bend just past the bridge over the Westdale Highway. Residents have been begging for better signage. A former Kern County Sheriff's Detention Lieutenant has his hearing postponed until December. 45-year-old Patrick McNeil is accused of crashing his vehicle in 2 separate incidents while driving drunk. On Tuesday, his hearing was postponed until December 2nd. His attorney said that certain subpoenaed records had not yet been received. McNeil is currently out of jail. He faces 9 felony charges and 1 misdemeanor count. A camera has captured video of a fire and what looks like an explosion in the area of Tubman this morning. It came from an alert wildfire camera, and it showed a large plume of black smoke in what could have been an explosion near Skyline Road, close to the 5th largest oil field in the area. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this, bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN.
Hey,
That's
I'm gonna use the PAL stuff here.
661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Wednesday, 17th day of September. This is the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com, and you can even watch us do the broadcast. Why you want to stare at my mug for 3 hours, I have no idea, but you can see what we do, see our guests, see our regulars, put a face with the voice. And you can also do that on Friday when we are live at the Great Kern County Fair. We'll be out there from 3 to 6. We'll be right off the front right entrance. So as you're entering from the main entrance, you just look to your right and you'll see our big KERN canopy and our desk. And I'm assuming you'll be out there with me. Have we figured that out yet?
We have not, but it's going to be either me or JR.
Yeah, it'll be out there.
Yeah, they'll be out there live.
Well, it's going to be you. JR ain't going out there.
More than likely.
Going out there. You don't sit in this air conditioning and run the board. Are you kidding? Or it might be Dawson running the board. Or maybe even Daisy for that matter. But we'll be out there from 3 to 6, and I hope you join us. It's senior day, so if you are 62 and above, it is absolutely free. And during the 2 weeks of the fair, if you are 62 and older, it is only $10. It is $15 general admission. And, of course, children 5 and under are free, and so are folks with military ID, and parking is about $10. And so I hope you'll join us. Come by and say hello. We'll even put you on the air probably, and just put a face to the voice, meet Chris or JR, whoever it'll be. But I hope you'll join us. Meantime, as we talked about with our money man, Daniel Petrie, we brought him in here on his day off because Jerome Powell has brought down the Fed rates. He even had a news conference and he read a speech. Here is part of what Jerome Powell said and the reason that he finally relented and dropped the rates.
The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals.
Now, one of the reasons that the rates were spiked, let's remember, they were fighting inflation. And who created that? Uncle Fluffy. You know, we quickly forget that during the Biden administration at one point, inflation was at 9.1. Now, why do I bring that up? Just imagine for 30 seconds, if at any point between 2016 and 2020, or any time between 2024 and 2028, meaning during Trump's 2 administrations, if inflation ever got close to 10%, the media would be calling for his impeachment. The left-wing CNN, MSNBC, it would be literally, I'm not being hyperbolic, it would be their lead story every single night. Every single night. They would figure out a way to bring up the fact that Trump's inflation is at 9.1. We're in the 2s and the 3.1 maybe, and they're bringing that up. And yet at the outset of his administration, Uncle Fluffy, it was at 9.1 and the media barely covered it. So that's why the rates went completely out of control. And now Powell is reluctant. Here is more from the Fed chair.
Downside risks to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
So, according to our money man, Daniel Petrie, and that's one of the reasons we had him on today. He'll be back with us on his regular time at 4:30 tomorrow. But one of the reasons we had him on today is because he gave great advice. If you're thinking about buying a house, slow your roll, Jackson. You might want to wait because more lower rates are definitely in the future, according to pundits, not only Daniel Petrie, but those inside the Beltway. So you might want to wait. If you're trying to sell a home, you might want to do the boogie tay and sell now. But it's a great time to get credit. And it's a great time for home buying. But again, as Daniel said, you might want to wait just a skosh and see if these rates come down even further. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got?
My grandfather, now deceased, former BPD chief, it's James Ware, by the way, used to tell me domestic issues were the worst.
Yeah.
Guy beats up his wife, you go to cuff him, and she hits you in the head with a cast iron pan.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? See, that's a great point, that they do go sour. You go there, they're fighting like cats and dogs. You take one of them. It doesn't matter whether it's the wife or the husband, because now if the wife starts it, whoever instigates it goes to jail. Because 9 times out of 10, they both have scratch marks. Their clothes are torn, but it's determined. And if there's a police officer out there that wants to tighten me up, feel free. But I'm pretty certain whoever instigates it, whoever starts it, goes to the hoosegow. And there are occasions where if it gets funky enough where both of them are injured, they both go to jail. And the other thing that you should know, which I'm assuming most of you do, it's no longer like, oh, officer, I don't want to press charges against my wife, or I don't want to press charges against my husband. Can't you just let them go? No, they can't. Once they determine that one of you have put their hands on the other, no matter whether you can lie and say I fell and that he didn't do this, and if they don't believe you, you gone. You gone. We brought this. Why did we bring this up?
Police
Initially.
and stuff like that. It was just
The shooting.
Yeah,
the shooting in York. We had breaking news about a shooting in York County, Pennsylvania, where 3 officers have been. It was 3 fatally shot.
3 fatally shot.
2 are fighting for their lives. It's just crazy. Just crazy. They were serving a warrant in York County. Absolutely crazy. What else you got?
On the Jimmy Kimmel pseudo firing, I theorize that he said it on purpose because he knew he was going to get canceled, but now you can get canceled on the back end of this so he could be aggravated.
And he can be a martyr to the left. Oh, he's a hero in Hollywood. It's too bad that this didn't happen a couple of weeks ago for him. He might have been Colbert for an Emmy. Oh, he'll be beloved. They're going to say that this is an injustice. If you don't know what we're talking about and you're just joining us, Jimmy Kimmel and his ABC show was indefinitely suspended, which, believe me, when they say indefinitely, da-da-da-da, Jimmy's gotta go.
Oh, the guillotine already came down.
He ain't coming back. Jimmy's gotta go. If you're going to be suspended, they would say for 2 weeks. They would say we'll revisit it. When they say indefinitely, you ain't coming back, Jack. Which is, we said this when Colbert got whacked. Inevitably, they'll all be gone. They'll all be gone. They're just not money makers anymore. They're not, it's not just Ed, Johnny, Doc, Tommy, and the band. You watch these shows and they're gargantuan productions. The Colbert Show, they were losing $40 million a year and paying him $20 million a year. Never got an Emmy in his life, never came close. He gets the boot, and Hollywood gives him a trophy and a standing ovation Sunday night. It's just Hollywood, man, if you've never lived in it and you've never really seen inside of Hollywood, and I'm not trying to claim that I was roaming the studios, that I was at Paramount, but as longtime listeners know, I went to high school with a lot of kids whose families were in the business. And it is a cutthroat, weird, egotistical, not, by definition, it has to be an egotistical, narcissistic group of human beings who are willing to go on television or go on this huge screen and pretend that there's somebody else, take their clothes off, be vulnerable. It is a special kind of weird person. And back in the day, in the Robert Redford era, there were people that were trying to make art, that believed in what they were doing and were trying to communicate messages to a thirsty nation that was hungry for this type of entertainment. And I would argue in the 21st century, it's a bunch of young kids that want to be celebrities. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that. I don't think these kids, and of course there are exceptions, of course there are, but I think the majority of these kids have grown up in the LA Hollywood area. They're either children of celebrities, many of them maybe children of celebrities that we don't really even know. Like my dad was a character actor that you wouldn't even know, but if you saw the different shows that he was on, you'd see that he worked pretty steadily. And now I want to follow in his footsteps. And all it takes is good looks and the ability to read a script. There's really no, I think it's one of the most overrated jobs in the world. You read what somebody else wrote. You walk and talk the way the director tells you to. And of course, there are exceptions, and there are exceptional people that have talent. But I say the same thing about broadcast journalism, that in the 20th century, broadcast journalism was dedicated and dominated by people that wanted to storytell and wanted to get facts. And I believe to a great degree, the television youngsters that are coming about, and again, of course, there are exceptions, but I think a lot of these kids just want to be on television. They just want to be on TV. They don't know a lot about journalism. They don't know a lot about reporting, digging for warrants. knowing how to sidestep people and get information. And I think that's what's happened to Hollywood, that they're just a bunch of pretty boys that want to be on TV and be celebrities and be able to go to these parties. And why not? The way we treat celebrities, it's partly our fault. These guys go to award shows where they get patted on the back and they get gift baskets that are literally worth $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 of just swag that they get just for showing up at an award banquet where they're going to be applauded and loved and honored and feted like they were astronauts or movers and shakers that make our society different, when all they do is give us just entertainment. But we are an entertainment-driven society, so teachers make what they make here, and these idiots, these uneducated fools that just happen to have got the lottery and looks and probably had a family member that's been in the business, and they're making this, and the people that educate our children are making this. I mean, when you really sit back and think about it, we're one of the dumbest nations in global history, where we pay people to catch a football tens of millions of dollars. And yet the woman or man that's going to teach your child how to read isn't going to make $100,000 in their lifetime. Maybe. I know some teachers make some good money, actually. But it's upside down. Imagine a world where teachers could make millions. Everybody would want to be a teacher. And think about our education level, if that was our priority, as opposed to what's coming on TV tonight, or what movie I'm going to see this weekend, or what game's coming on Sunday. I don't know. I'm rambling. Let's go. We'll take a quick time out and we come back. I've got to give you some, at least my perspective on prostate cancer. Bob Price did a really nice piece highlighting the fact that the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center, where I took my blood test a couple of years ago, is providing absolutely free PSA tests. If you're over 40 or 45 and you haven't seen your doctor recently, you haven't had your blood test, and you don't know what your PSA is, you're a moron if you don't take advantage of this. For the end of the month, up until October, you can go down Truxton and they'll test your blood and they'll give you your PSA number absolutely free. Absolutely free. But I think Mr. Price gave you some kind of misleading information. I just want to clear that up. And the only reason we bring it up is because of my own personal experience over the last couple of months. What Dr. Hemal Kathri told me, what Dr. Jeet Singh told all of us about 3 weeks ago, and what even a caller who is an expert on prostate cancer told us. We'll talk about that next. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Wednesday, right here on News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KRN, and we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 90.
Messmaker.
Oh, no, I got to.
The Thursday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, continuing to update you on the FBI investigation into the assassination of Charlie Kirk and chilling details of more radical left-wing extremists all around the online ecosystem. We'll discuss that. Plus,
President Trump is in England for his state visit. What do we see happening overseas, and how does it impact the Ukraine and Russia war? We'll break it down.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Earlier in the broadcast, in fact, in the second segment of the show, we had our money man, Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors on. As you know, he normally appears every Thursday at 4:30, as he will tomorrow. However, we brought him in today because of Jerome Powell's actions with the Fed. And Daniel came in and gave some great advice, as I just mentioned, told young homeowners or possible homeowners to possibly wait because rates are going to come down even further. That's the importance of Daniel Petrie, giving really basic but really, really important advice to our listeners. And of course, Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about retirement. So call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400, or just tune in tomorrow. He joins us every Thursday at 4:30. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker, Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
King Door Company continues to set the standard in the garage door industry, and I'm here to tell you a few of the reasons why. First off, King Door carries Clopay garage panels and LiftMaster openers, so you're guaranteed quality and reliability well beyond the reach of most garage door companies, and it just gets better from there. King Door has a fleet of fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and tools to handle any job quickly and efficiently, and those trucks are manned by the most knowledgeable technicians anywhere. They have all the technical expertise imaginable and the most up-to-the-minute training available. In fact, King Door is so committed to training that they have the King Door Academy, a full-size, state-of-the-art classroom right on the premises with all the latest teaching aids, including working garage doors to simulate any installation, repair, or technique. Your garage door is a very important part of the safety, security, and look of your home, so don't trust it to anyone but King Door Company. Call them today at 397-2744, stop by the showroom at 7450 District Boulevard, or check them out online at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, your company with the pride of a lion.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott.
KERN. This really isn't a petty criticism. It really isn't. I thought Bob Price's piece on prostate cancer and awareness, and the fact that the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center is offering free blood exams to determine your PSA. But I just think, based on what I'm living through, and loyal listeners know we've been talking about this long before Mr. Price's piece, and it began with a blood test that what had nothing to do with my colon or prostate. It was about my gout. I had to take a blood test to determine the uric acid in my system, which at the time was out the roof. It's supposed to be 5. I was at about a 9.5, and that was one of the reasons I hadn't played golf in 3 months. But Hemel Kothari, being one of the finest physicians in this town and the only GP that I've ever had since I've lived here, also looked at my A1C and my PSA. My A1C jumped a little bit into the 6s, but it's still good. I'm going to get it back down into the 5s. But it's one of the reasons I have gout, because I was eating a lot of sauces and things like that. Fettuccine Alfredo, eggs Benedict, the holiday sauce, the Alfredo sauce, and that's sweet as well. But he also discovered that my PSA from the time that I was at the CBCC jumped from a 1.7 to a 3.7. Well, I thought initially, as Mr. Price said in his piece, as long as you're not over 4, that's really the mark for abnormality. And it's not till about 9 or 10 when you seriously, probably, and most likely have cancer. Well, I asked Hemel about that. I said, well, aren't I okay? I'm at 3.7. It's below 4. And he said, well, no, not exactly. and I'm going to put you on some antibiotics because I'm hoping, and I do believe, that it is an infection. You sit on your behind, Ralph, for a living, and so I'm hoping that that's what it is, but it could be something greater. And so therefore, we're going to put you on antibiotics, which he did. I finished them. I've got a blood test to take in 2 weeks. We'll re-examine, and if it's not an infection, I'll have to get a biopsy. And then that's when we really determine what's really going on. My point is, and this was pointed out by Dr. Kothari, this was pointed out by Dr. Jeet Singh on our air, and it was pointed out by a guest that we had talking about prostate cancer, who called into the show and said, you could be as low as 2.0 and still have cancer. And at the end of Mr. Price's piece, he actually took a blood test. They gave him his results, and he said, I'm at 2.6. I'm not going anywhere. Well, that's probably true, Mr. Price, but you can't tell people that they're free of cancer simply because they're below 4.0. That's just factually inaccurate. And again, don't go by me. Don't go by Bob Price. Go by your physician. Go ask your doctor about it and take advantage of the fact that the CVCC is providing free PSA exams to the end of the month. If you don't, you're an idiot. Final half hour of the broadcast. I'd stick around if I you.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A Utah sheriff says the 22-year-old man charged with killing Charlie Kirk
my
was
last
being
lap.
shot by police.
What's
and
for
agreed to
dinner? What are you having
surrender
for dinner?
As long as it was done peacefully. Washington County
I was
Sheriff
thinking
Nate Brooksby
chicken.
says Tyler Robinson appeared quiet and somber when he
I
turned
cook it.
himself in with his parents.
You know, I
last
fall in love
Thursday.
with pollo
He surrendered a
campanero.
little over a
but
day
they
after Kirk
grill it
was shot and killed at Utah Valley University. Authorities say 3 police officers were fatally shot and 2 wounded Wednesday in southern Pennsylvania, and the shooter was killed by police. Governor Josh Shapiro said Wednesday the state is grieving and that we need to do better as a society. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 260 points. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. A traffic stop near Rosamond Boulevard and Sierra Highway leads to a drug bust. Police say that Bridget Ray was found with $40,000 worth of drugs in the vehicle and at a home. Ray was already on probation for a previous narcotics charge. Deputies say that a search revealed methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. During a follow-up search at Ray's home, detectives report finding a backpack with over 1,300 oxycodone pills. A camera has captured video of a fire and what looks like an explosion in the area of Tubman this morning. It came from an alert wildfire camera, and it showed a large plume of black smoke in what could have been an explosion near Skyline Road, close to the 5th largest oil field in the area. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks. Are you a business owner who feel that your IT company just treats you just like another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just a promise. It's how they do business every single day. And when you call, you're actually talking to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no runaround, no attitude. From the moment you become a client, you'll experience the difference that comes from working with a company that puts customer service first. And no one knows that better than the folks here at American General Media because we've teamed up with Adaptive Networks. Ready to experience IT support the way it should be? Call Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or visit adaptive-net.com today. Adaptive Networks, where great technology meets even greater customer service.
Thursday's Armstrong and Getty show, the Fed is dropping interest rates, and we will see how that affects the markets. Trump is in England and going to make a nuclear deal, by the way, with Great Britain that has something to do with Ukraine. We'll have all the latest news about everything on the next Armstrong and Getty show. I hope you can tune in, and our goal is to bring you stuff that is true without the spin.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. And don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. Roxanne. So what did someone think we hadn't talked about?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about it. And I have to talk about something that I don't want to talk about, but I almost have to talk about because I forgot. I had my microphone on and the YouTube listeners heard the entire conversation.
It's true.
I have a date Saturday.
So
I was doing my walk, my 5:30 walk. I walk at the top and bottom of the hours now that I can walk and temperatures have come down. And there's a friend that works over here in our complex. We're on Easton and we work in a business complex. A lot of people don't even know that's here. We're right across from now the New Hampton Inn and right next door to the stupid Motel 6. And there's about 150 companies that are in here. And I met a young lady. And as the YouTube listeners probably heard, we've been talking for like 2 years because the first thing I said was, hey, how you doing? And she said, good, how you been? And I said, when are we going to go out? We've been talking about this for 2 years. And she said, anytime. Where do you want to go? And I said, what are you doing this weekend? She was like, well, I'm busy tonight. I was like, I ain't going out tonight.
That's also not what you said. I said this weekend, not tonight.
But this was before I said this weekend.
Oh,
she said, well, I'm kind of busy tonight. And I was like, no, I don't mean tonight. I said, what about this weekend? And she said, I'm not doing anything Saturday. And I would not have mentioned it if I didn't realize that 200 people were like, listen to Ralph, getting a date.
Is this the one that I'm thinking of?
The one with the white car?
Well, not the one with the white car, but the one that frequently comes by.
No.
No, not that.
Oh, the one that goes around the corner?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
I was just about to ask.
Have you gone crazy? I would have ran in there and told you if it was her. We've got this blonde that if you're listening to the show at about 3:05, 3:10, you'll see me do this. She's outstanding. No, she's a married woman. No, that's my yeah. That's my only rule. It's my only rule. It's my only rule.
No.
I don't care about boyfriends. In fact, well, I can't tell that story, but I don't care about boyfriends. I really don't.
You're not doing your job as a boyfriend.
Exactly. If she wants to go out with me and you're her boyfriend, that you got a bad girlfriend.
I think that's just you as the bad boyfriend. There's something wrong here. Because if girls are in good relationships, do not say yes to dates with anybody.
I agree. I met a woman this weekend. I'm not going to name her, obviously. And I just whispered in her ear, is that your man? And she said, he's trying.
Oh.
And I said, well, he's not the only one. And she said, really? And I said, can I get your number? She did. Got her number.
See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. When you're not hitting, they're going to find somebody who will.
Married women? No. And it's not even a moral. It is a moral issue because you're breaking up a family. That's just despicable.
It's also just bad juju.
It is bad juju. But the main reason I've never, ever, I'm a freshman at Morehouse College. I've told this story 100 times. And it's a leisurely afternoon. It's like 4 or 5, and we're getting ready to go down to the cafeteria. And Willie Mitchell comes screaming up the stairs of Graves Hall, like screeching, like, ah! And we're like, what is Willie Mitch up to? And this is a true story. I've told this 100 times. He is coming upstairs with a sheet wrapped around him and a shirt on. And as he walked, he's coming up the stairs. My dorm room door, as you opened it, looked right down the steps of the third floor of Graves Hall. And as I opened the door, George is like, go see what Willie's screaming about. I open the door and Willie walks past me and he's got the sheet wrapped around him. And the back of the sheet is covered in blood. And I look down the steps and there's a trail of blood. And I run down, Willie, what is going on? And he's like, I got shot. I'm like, you got shot? Why don't you have any pants on? Why do you have a sheet around? Let's sit down. And I ran and got Mark Flores, whose brother was a year older than he was. They were both biology majors. Frank is now a GP in Hempstead, Long Island. And Mark Flores is a anesthesiologist in Philadelphia. And I said, you got to look at Willie. He's been shot. And they're like, shut up, bro. I'm like, I swear to God. And I brought him to the steps and I showed him the blood and they ran down. And luckily he had been grazed on his behind. So Frank was able to kind of clean it and dress it and everything. And what happened was Morehouse is in a neighborhood. Morehouse College is located in a neighborhood where there are homes that are just outside the gates. Like there's a street that runs right from the backside of Morehouse College where the dorms are. And Willie had met this woman that lived across the street from our dorm, and she was married, and her husband was a postman, and he happened to come home in the middle of the afternoon. And literally back then in the state of Georgia, if he had killed Willie Mitchell, he'd walked away. They've changed the law now, but they considered that temporary insanity, and you could shoot a man or woman who was having relations with your spouse. And we never said a word. We never reported it. I guess we're accessories after the fact. Although he was the victim.
Yeah, really.
There's really no, other than the moral question, he wouldn't have gone to jail, but we cleaned up. We all took a floor to clean up the blood. It trailed obviously from the gate all the way up to our hallway and up the steps. We lived on the third floor. And that's where I said, I ain't never, ever gonna hit on a married woman, because he will shoot you, then shoot her, and then eat the gun. Or even if he doesn't eat the gun, he's gonna shoot your ass. And again, it's just breaking up a family. And I've been accused twice of hitting on married women. I got cursed out once at Casey's Steakhouse. Some guy was like, I'm glad you got hit in the jaw, because I remember 7 years ago, you were hitting on my wife. And I was like, that is an impossibility. And if I did, she wasn't wearing a ring and I didn't know it, because I swear on my father's grave, I have never, ever, ever had a relationship or any kind of doings with a married woman, not knowingly. No. That is my only rule, Jack.
And to be honest with you, you probably weren't even flirting with his wife. He probably saw you talking to him, have some major insecurities of his own, and immediately went to why.
Obviously, because he was drunk as a skunk and screaming at me from the top of the bar. I was sitting at the bottom of the bar. So anybody with that kind of temperament, overreacts. And
people today can't handle other people talking to their partner. I really don't get why.
Yeah.
It's like you're super defensive and it really weirds me out, but it is what it is.
Well, I disagree with you, actually.
Okay, it depends on like the body language of the conversation.
Men know men.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
And we can't really be friends with women.
True.
Because I'm that way. If I come back from the bathroom and a dude at the bar who just happens to be sitting next to my girlfriend or my date is talking to her, I'm not going to be visible about it because it shows weakness, but I ain't happy. I'm like, all right, well, look over here now. That's why I probably haven't never been married and going home to my Kentucky Fried Chicken tonight. Or do I do El Campogno and try their fried chicken? I've never had their fried chicken. I've done their roasted chicken, trying to be healthy. I'm just not in the mood to roll the dice and have it be bad. But can you really blow for fried chicken?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, I guess you can. I don't do KFC. A lot of salt, but I've been good. My salt.
It's the spot every time too.
It's weird how there are just some chains that are just consistent. They have horrible sides.
I don't know. You get the Famous Bowl, and it's pretty good.
But that's not a side. That's
no,
a
but
meal.
it's all the sides kind of put together, though.
Yeah, but that's a meal. Oh, what is it? What is the bowl?
The Famous Bowl is usually mashed potatoes, corn, gravy, a little bit of cheese, and their chicken on top.
Really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Again, it's just all of the sides, but like put together. Essentially, just think of Panda Express's bowl, but KFC.
Because I tried mashed potatoes and potato wedges the last time,
Mm.
and the potato wedges were horrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the wedges.
Yeah, and wedges are great.
Yeah.
Pizza wedges are the best.
Rusty's has the best wedges in town. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I always go with Pizzaville's wedges.
Ooh, that's a good contender too.
Yeah, I love Pizzaville. Let's read a couple of text messages and get to our final break.
There was a huge turnout for the Charlie Kirk tribute at Riverwalk
Yeah, there
Park
was.
last night.
Yeah, there
and
was.
The Bakersfield Californian didn't even mention it.
Are you serious?
I'm not
It was not in today's paper at all?
I'm not shocked by that at all.
Wow.
You probably weren't even there.
No, come on. That would have been a great front page picture, too. I saw the video on 17 where they did the candlelight.
Yeah,
that
but
would have unbelievable front page picture.
If you don't have a story, then I'm going to assume you didn't send anybody.
Wow. That is remarkable. Thanks for the info. That is absolutely remarkable. That's like the Emmys. They never mentioned it. And as we talked about yesterday, it would have been a great moment in American life right now if maybe the head of the Emmys or maybe some big time celebrity had said, we didn't agree with much of what Charlie Kirk said, but we will fight for his right to say it. And that's why we're going to have a moment of silence for a man that most of us in this room vehemently disagreed with. But when it comes down to killing people over what they believe and what they say, that's when we as Americans have to draw the line. That's when we have to come and realize that we are our brother's keeper and we are looking out for one another. And every man, whether he's right or whether he's wrong, has the ability to stand up and say, this is what I believe. And you have the absolute right to retort and disagree with them. And that's called democracy. That's all they had to say. They could have called Ralph Bailey. They could have written it for him. They didn't have to say we liked him, we agreed with him, but the reason they couldn't do it, you want to know the reason they couldn't do it? And you all know the reason they couldn't do it. I'm sorry to have to even say this out loud. And maybe this isn't the majority, maybe it's not all, maybe it's not even a large amount, but I think many of them absolutely reveled in it. I really believe that. I hope I'm wrong. And again, maybe I'm black-hearted, but I think they all secretly were like, you got what was coming to you. You pro-gun sons of bitches, you. The chickens have come home to roost. I think they all believe that. The only one I did see that I will give credit to was Jamie Lee Curtis, who was in tears on some podcast saying the very thing I just said. I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk. I didn't like a lot of the things he said about LGBTQ, but no 31-year-old man deserves to get shot in the neck with his children there. And inside the 405, multimillionaires couldn't say 3 sentences about him. And our local newspaper couldn't cover a massive vigil. That is, I hope you're wrong. I really do. Maybe they're waiting to hold it till tomorrow. Maybe it was a late deadline. It'll be on the front page tomorrow. I hope you're wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. Wow, that's incredible. Let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. Come back. Tomorrow's a Thursday. Michael Turnipseed will be here. Oh, we're going to talk about, you know what we're going to talk about with Turnipseed? My round Saturday at BCC. I'm telling you, I did not miss a fairway.
See, but you're telling me you messed up the second day, and I'm starting to become skeptical.
I don't know how. I don't know how I made a jerk of myself the following day.
Need to hear from Turnipseed tomorrow.
Thank God I had a witness. And the great par that I made on 18 to shoot 45. And some of the saves that I made. I mean, I made some nice shots and I missed. Okay, let me be on record.
Okay.
I missed my first tee shot. But since we were teeing off on 10, I forgot that even with Chris Zucchini, who was the biggest stickler, Chris Zucchini wouldn't give you a putt that long. He's the biggest stickler of PGA rules when we play golf. But we always play what's called a breakfast ball, where you get 2 tee shots at the first tee. And since we were teeing off at the 10th, I forgot. I literally popped it up on the 18th fairway. And I was like, damn, well, it's been 3 months. And I started walking back to the cart, and I go, wait a minute. This is the first hole. I get a breakfast ball. And Mike was like, I don't care. I go, no, that's how we play. And I absolutely drilled it and made the only double bogey of the day from the middle of the fairway. Made 7 consecutive bogeys and then made a great par on 18. And then went to Sundale the next day and made a complete jerk of myself. Can't explain it. Can't explain it. And then I hurt my wrist today because I got on the phone with Ragone. And I said, dude, you got to teach me how to speed my club head speed. I'm hitting 200, 210-yard drives. And I said, you just got to go out and just get your body used to swinging as hard as you can. So I took a driver, went in the backyard, and started just swinging as hard. And I was like, God dang, that hurts. Now I've been playing this Sunday. Final break of the day. Keep it locked right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. It's the JR.
You want to bust out your promos?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Should I do the price thing?
I don't know. He can get pretty butthurt when he gets criticized.
But it's accurate.
I know. Maybe the Kimmel thing?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. 3, 2. So once again, the chicken's coming home to roost to those who are reveling in the death of 31-year-old Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel has been indefinitely suspended for trying to insist that the shooter was part of them being the MAGA crowd, which is completely inaccurate. The FCC was going to go after Disney, so Disney went after Kimmel. Bye-bye, Jimmy. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Thursday TRBS. Well, it's a Thursday. Mike Turnipseed will be here to absolutely confirm my 45 on the back 9 at BCC. And, of course, our money man, Daniel Petrie. All that and me at 3. It's TRBS, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. I'll see you at 3.
Hi, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo, the streaming TV company that's proud to be different. At Philo, we put the audience first. It sounds simple, but how often are you frustrated just trying to watch TV? I run a streaming company, and even I can't figure it out. From hidden fees to impossible to break contracts to dozens of confusing apps, TV has gotten way too hard. So we set out to make it better. You want to watch live TV from the channels you've always loved, like Discovery, A&E, Nickelodeon, and more? Philo's got you covered. You want to discover something new from our library of over 80,000 movies and shows? Then save every episode for up to a year so you can skip all the ads? No problem. Your favorite show is over and you want to take a break from your subscription? We've made it as easy as possible, and you can still enjoy more than 100 free channels. We built Philo so that you can love the way you watch TV.
I want to take this
for a price
home.
You can afford. Because at Philo, we're
How
TV
many should
fans.
you do?
Head to philo.tv.
Just
I
do
don't
it.
know if it's a stress ball or if it's one of those that's like a sensory thing. I don't know.
Oh,
if
I
you've
thought it
seen
was
those
like a
ones.
strengthening thing.
I think it's a. I don't know. I think it's a
It's
double.
like stress.
I thought it was a stress ball, but it
Well, I
looks
ain't
like
got no
a,
stress. I thought it was strengthening my hands and my wrists.
No, I don't think it's one of those. It's too weak for that.
Don't screw it then.
I was gonna say you mess with that for a couple weeks, it'll probably pop open.
Yeah.
With dual a diagnosis that combines medical care and
I really did
treatment
hurt my
all
wrist,
under one
too.
roof. Learn more at
Yeah, I really did, 'cause
GoodSamaritanHospital.com.
I just heard it again, trying to bring down the drapes.
215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their.
If it ain't one thing, it's another.
I know. It's called old age.
Family and friends. Sundale is more
And no
than
vitamin
golf.
D.
It's a jewel in the heart of Bakersfield.
the proud home of the award-winning Phoenix Restaurant, combining upscale dining with magnificent golf course views. Sundale Country Club will soon be your favorite getaway without even leaving town. To reserve a tea time or make a dining reservation, call 661-831-4200. Open to all, but ask about our membership benefits. Golf, family, and friends. It all comes together at Sundale Country Club.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. The freaks come out at night. Eight 842-5376, 842-KERN. Wrapping this thing up. Do I watch the film? I can't watch. I can't watch. Oh, look at Burdick in there grinning.
You guys will probably beat us in the third game. We usually let go in the third game. I'm just happy because we are on fire right now.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, Siri, who's pitching tonight for the Dodgers?
These are the listed starting pitchers for the Dodgers.
Thank you. I think it's Yamamoto. Doesn't Yamamoto follow Shohei?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, tell me who's pitching. If Yamamoto's pitching, I'll watch. But if it's Sheehan or because Tyler's already gone, CK's gone, and Shohei went last night for 5 no-hit innings.
Ooh, it's gonna be a great game.
They pull Shohei after 5 innings with 60 pitches thrown, and all hell breaks loose because they bring in the arsonist. And I didn't even know till 2:55 talking with Randizzle because I cut out at 6-4.
Right.
I just cut out. I was like, we're done. I didn't know that Shohei hit his 50th home run and that we tied it up in the bottom of the 8th. And that Trident came in and gave up a 3-run home run in the 9th. Let me make this clear, Dave Roberts. I don't want to see Blake Trinan on that field. Neither do I want to see Tanner Scott. I'll live with Vesia. Yes, he gave up our home run the other night, but he's our best choice. And I think at this point, you know what we need to do? If you're not going to let Shohei go 6, 7, 8, then put him out in the damn bullpen or get him off the bench and let him be a closer. He threw 5. How many times has Dave Roberts pulled somebody that's throwing a no-hitter? I've counted at least 3 times in the years that I've been following Dave Roberts. As I said earlier in the show, I'll never forget we were in Vegas. Chris Zucchini and I were at Top Golf, and we were monitoring the game. You know, there are televisions everywhere. They were playing Minnesota in Minnesota, and CK had a no-hitter going on. And as I would hit, Chris would go check the TV, and Zucchini comes back and says, they pulled him. And I said, well, who got the hit? He goes, no, they pulled him with a no-hitter. And I go, get out of here. Nobody pulled somebody with a I'm telling you, Ralph, they pulled him with a no-hitter. So this isn't the first time he's done this. And at what point is he going to figure out, look, fellas, just have a meeting with his 6-5 starters. The reality is I need you to go 8. I need you to go 8. I need you to go 120 pitches. And maybe this is coming from the Guggenheims. Maybe this is coming from Andrew. Maybe this is coming from Stan Kasten. But at some point, they have to realize there are a bunch of arsonists out in left field. They ain't coming in to put out any fire. They create the fire. 4-0, and Philadelphia. What do you think happened in the Philadelphia dugout when they were like, they're not sending Ohtani back out there? Thank you, Jesus. Hey, Kyle, look who's out there. It ain't Ohtani. Yeah, boy, it's all like DK now. And what happened? They scored 6 runs. And then they bring Trinan in the 9th, and bing, bang, bong, the bases are loaded. And at that point, I bet Dodger fans are like, bases are loaded, honey, let's go. Get the kids. Let's get out of here. No, I'm not going to wait to see it. It's going to be a double or a home. Oh, look. See, you made me sit and watch it. There. Fifth row. We're down 9-6. No, we're not staying to the bottom of the ninth. They're not going to score 3 runs. We're getting the hell out of here. Good. Googly moogly.
You got a great pitching matchup tonight, though.
Who is it?
So we have Jesus Luzardo,
Ooh.
and you have Blake Snell.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's
I
gonna be
will watch.
great.
I will watch Blake Snell. Yamamoto and Blake Snell, but he's got to go 8.
Yeah.
They cannot pull him in the
You need him to
6th.
go 9. You need
Yeah.
him to go 9.
They should have let Yamamoto go 9. 8 2/3 no hitter. He gets 1 home run. It's 3-1. And what a smart manager does, you let him go 1 more batter. Even if he hits a home run, it's 3-2. You let him go 1 more batter. He's gone 8 2/3 of no hit ball. He gets hit once, and you don't think he can get 3 more strikes? You don't think that your best pitcher can't get 1 more out, Dave? Come on, pal. I got to get out of here. Why do I always leave the show angry or on some maudlin, depressing note?
Wish it was on the Dodgers this time.
I guess. Tomorrow is a Thursday. I want to thank Darren Carr, head coach of BCHS, and his player Jacob Mian. They got Stockdale this weekend. And, of course, Daniel Petrie, who came in on his day off, and our man Howard Marcus. In the meantime, for Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. We're wrapped in tomorrow.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out.
Authorities say 3 police officers were
Freaks
fatally shot
out
and
at
2
night.
wounded in southern
The
Pennsylvania.
freaks come
and
out
the
at
shooter was
night.
killed by police. Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris confirmed that
know what?
multiple
I'm gonna roll
officers
the
were
dice,
killed.
And I'm going to order my KFC
there were
right
5.
now.
Oh, I bet you beat it.
Yeah, I should beat it.
It takes them a while to get that stuff done.
Put all the herbs and spices on it.
Yeah, I take the skin off at
Do you
least.
really?
Yeah.
I love this
I know, but I'm an old man and it's salty as fuck.
It's also really bad for
Yeah, it really is.
Gonna make you buy.
Oh, yeah. Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the love. I make it homemade, the famous bowl, says Judy.
Hey, that's what's up. I do too.
I am making 2 Cornish hens with stuffing and green beans. Oh, Judy. God, that sounds good. I love Cornish hens. Used to be able to buy them. They came in like tubes.
Yeah.
They were a little tiny. You could just stick it in the microwave. God. See you, Judy. A Cornish